Alexa, turn the
What's
lights on in the den.
What's up, dude?
What's up, bro?
I'm chilling, man. What you up to?
Chillin', you know. Just woke up. My girl's at work. She works on the weekends, so I just get up, just do chores, play video games.
Play some. Was it Elden Ring that I saw?
Yeah, I've been playing Elden Ring.
Huh?
Played?
I used
Yeah,
to.
you beat the game?
Yeah, air quote, beat the game.
Like
I,
the Elden Ring?
yeah,
Oh, so you beat him.
but I never like got super hardcore into it.
Well, so it was my first game that, I'm really into the multiplayer shit, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Competitive gaming. Then I realized you gotta grind in those fucking games, dude. You gotta
Yep.
fucking be on there like the little kids, 24 fucking 7. Good. So,
Uh-huh.
so, um, so then I was like, you know what? Let me try to play like a fucking game that, single player. So that was my first one, and I ended up beating the game by myself, and it was fun.
Nice.
Just playing a game that you don't have to like be on a schedule for.
Yeah. I mean, we used to play games like that, like exclusively. It was very annoying. I mean,
Yeah, so
it was annoying in hindsight. We had a great time while we played. But
yeah, for sure. But then I realized that Elden Ring is like a huge game, so a lot of people bought it, so you can actually
Oh, yeah.
mod it for co-op. So you can
Oh.
co-op, like literally play with your friends up to like 4 people.
Oh, that's dope.
Whole entire game, yeah. So it's kind of what I do now. I've been playing with my buddies that I've gotten into it. I got my little brother trying to get into it, but he doesn't care about the storyline. Just cares about killing the bosses.
I'm with them.
Yeah. So then I got other friends that are like into the storyline. They're trying to actually play it because there's a lot of cool shit in the game. Like I've played the game, I beat the game like 4 times, and I'm still discovering new shit that I didn't do like
Yep.
playthroughs.
That's why the game survived so long.
Yeah, and then they just came out with a DLC that I haven't played yet. So
Oh, I mean, I hope you're ready for the game to change again then.
yeah, so well, it's like they add on to it.
Right. I hear there's a lot of new shit. I have to refill my paint cup really quick. I'll be right back.
Yeah, I'm watching it now.
All right, I'm back.
Are you smoking right now?
No. It's a humidifier.
Oh, okay. I was like,
Yeah.
smoking and paint. That sounds pretty cool.
Bruh, that's how you know you made it.
Yeah, it's funny. Bro, how do you get into all these hobbies, bro? I feel like you have so many hobbies that
I get
you
bored.
Wait, so do you not do the woodworking?
I kind of cycle through my hobbies. So, woodworking, the problem with woodworking is if you really want to have like really nice things that you make, um, it's a lot of money. Wood is not cheap, and like tools are not cheap. So, I mean, if you really want like fine furniture like shop, you could sit there and accumulate tools and practice and, do it for 30 years and be great and be old as hell. Or you can drop 30 grand, make your garage perfect. At 30 grand's probably fairly conservative. And then you can start selling tables. Each table can take 3 months, 4 months, upwards of 6 months to make. So it very quickly becomes a job. Like it's just a second job. and you really have to commit to like how are you going to keep the humidity out of your shop? How are you going to keep it stable so that um, it's a lot. So like I
Yeah.
still have my tools, I just haven't done it in a while because the one project I want to do, like I need another person to help me do it essentially with how my setup is. And like my table saw, I shouldn't have bought it cheap because they don't even make it anymore. So I can't like get a replacement part for it, or like it's not like the fence got bent because I cut something wrong on it and I can't replace the fence. So I've had to like flip it around and like kind of jerry rig it back together. Um, and it functions, but nothing cuts straight anymore. And it's like, okay, it's infinitely demoralizing. And I cycle through my hobbies anyway, so it's just going to be on the back burner for right now, especially with the little one on the way. It's just not worth the time right now. It's not worth the money. It's not worth the expense. And as I get older again and rediscover my affinity for it, and I've got more disposable income, I'll probably revisit it. But for right now, this is a much lower barrier of entry. I already have all of the tools I need for it. And yeah, it's something that can be appreciated for years to come.
Wife doesn't get mad you cycling through so many hobbies?
Nope.
Blowing
I
ranks?
mean, she knows me. She just knows who I am. Like, I'm just not a person that like can sit still. So when I get bored, I have to move on to something else.
Makes sense. Do you game at all anymore?
Video games have been less and less lately. I mean, of course, I still play video games, but just to the same extent like I used to, absolutely not.
You like has your taste in video games changed? Like do you like different kind of games now? Like would you
Yeah,
like for like the single player kind of experience?
yeah. I like roguelikes, you know. I like deck builders, you know,
Yeah.
that boring shit that you can just
You
play
ever
by
played
yourself for a little while.
yeah. Have you heard of that new game? I'm probably gonna buy it just for like days like this where like nobody's trying to play or something
hmm
like that or got really nothing to do. It's called Black Myth,
Oh yeah,
Black Myth Wong. Yeah, I'm
it's
gonna buy that.
basically just Elden Ring, but Chinese myth.
Yeah, it looks fucking dope. I mean, the trailer looks fucking crazy.
It's only gotten good reviews, so it's got to be
Yeah,
good.
yeah. So I'm thinking about getting that because I recently bought a OLED monitor. Dude, this
Oh,
motherfucker
nice.
crazy.
Thing's probably beautiful.
Oh, it's stunning, bro. And what's shitty is like I'll play video games on this really nice display, and then I go watch TV with my girl, and you can just tell the difference.
And you're like, ew, ew, oh my god, it's grainy.
Yeah, not even. No, it's the colors, bro. The colors
Ah,
are absolutely crazy. So like a black,
is
like
black.
is actually black. Like if you put like a white and a black next to each other, you know how like if you are watching TV, and this is assuming that you don't have an OLED TV, so
hmm
if you do,
No. Blacks come out gray.
yeah,
Black, so you
exactly.
see the backlight.
Yeah,
Um,
you don't see the backlight with OLED. Like it's
yeah.
fucking unreal. Like the picture, how much it changes everything. So Elden Ring looks insane.
Oh
And
god,
then
yeah.
that new game that we were just talking about is the same. It's incredible. Um, but anyways, yeah, dude, it's weird because I feel like I have like a little bit of everybody in me when it comes to our family.
Yeah.
I have hobbies, but not as big hobbies as you. But I do
It
have hobbies. So
it
like
just
I'm into coffee, dude. Like I'm
yeah.
hardcore into coffee. Like I'd spend at least $50 a month just on beans. I have
That's not
like
bad.
$1,000 set up.
Nice.
That's on the cheap end of what you can do for
Yeah,
coffee.
it's this air quote starter.
Yeah.
I
So
could I could go through all of my tools with painting, and I can tell you right now that they are
you know what they cost?
probably roughly the same cost.
Really?
Yeah.
Jeez. That like these brushes and all that cost that
Yeah.
much?
No. Like I've got an airbrush, I've got a compressor. Just the gun, just the thing that shoots the paint can be anywhere between, $100 to $300 depending on which one you get.
Yeah.
You can get a cheap one, but you really like one thing I've learned with any tool is that you really do get what you pay for. Like if you buy a cheap tool, it's gonna be a cheap tool. Like
Do you
there
feel
isn't
that way when it comes to like home tools, as in like,
absolutely.
for example, like Ryobi versus like a DeWalt or something? Do you
Well,
feel
it
the same
depends
way?
on what you're using it for. Like the only reason Ryobis get a bad rap is because they don't last. Like they just break a lot,
Yeah.
but they're cheap. So if you are a construction guy and
Yeah.
it, if it's going to be cheaper for you to buy two Ryobis than it would be to buy one DeWalt, and if like they're dying at the same rate, then there's no reason for you to get a finer tool if you're just driving nails. Um, but if you're doing like certain specialty work, if you're like if it's just for shit around the house, no, it does not matter what tool you use. But when it comes to like fine furniture making and stuff like that, again, your drill isn't that important, but uh,
But isn't it more so the blade?
it's
You
the
think? Or is
saw,
it the
it's
motor?
the motor, it's the power. Um, and then yes, of course, your blade makes a big difference. But if you have a bad chassis, and I'm jumping straight to like you know miter saws and stuff like that, if it's built poorly, then it might wobble a bit, and like it doesn't make it necessarily dangerous. It just makes it so that it seems like none of your cuts come out straight, and you'd be surprised. Like 95% of applications do not actually require straight cuts at all. But when you're making fine furniture with woods that will actually explode, if they're like as the moisture of the season changes and things go from dry to moist, wood expands and contracts. So like not straight cuts become very obvious during certain times of the year because your table will be perfectly dead flat in the winter, but then wobble in the summer. So like you really have to like dive into like so how much does that matter to me? How much is my technique actually going to correct for that? It hence why I'm not doing woodworking right now.
Yeah.
Like I get it. I understand the concept. I know I could go do it if I had the drive to go downstairs and do it. But I just don't have that drive right now. And I'm a person that's so like ADD that if it's not fun, just stop. Just don't do it anymore and then just move on. I'll be doing, as long as I play my cards right, I'll be living a long time. So I can just become an old guy that does woodworking too and already have tools.
That's
So
true.
I see these things as like, even though I'm not using them right now, they're not going to waste. I even floated
Yeah,
the idea of,
that's good for sell
yeah,
them.
I floated the idea of selling it to Vanessa. I'm like, I'm just not into it right now, and at least for the foreseeable future, I don't see myself getting back into it because of all the work that needs to be done to the garage, not even for the woodworking itself. And she's like, "Don't do that. What do you mean? You're gonna swing back around to it eventually, so you might as well just keep them." And I'm
Doesn't
like,
take up a lot of space though. Do you guys
"It
think in
takes
the
up a
garage?
ton of space." I mean, her work takes up a lot of space in the garage too, but
Yeah, what does she do? She into hobbies too?
she works for Lap of Love, which is like hospice at home euthanasia stuff for
I thought she goes to them. Do they come to you?
huh?
They come to you?
No, but it's a I don't want to get on I don't want to go into it because this is being recorded.
Okay.
um, but just know that a lot of her resources are kept here.
Um, that's weird.
I mean, it makes sense when you actually know how the whole thing
Yeah.
works, but it's just one of those things where when you start talking about like body care and what's the next steps, like that's just you as a civilian you don't need to know that information.
Yeah.
But
Do you guys put two car garage or three?
yeah, we have a 2-car garage and we can currently fit 1 car in it.
Oh, so you guys aren't taking up that. Dude, your woodworking stuff isn't taking up that much
No,
space.
no, no, no,
Unless you
no,
have
no.
a really
When
big.
I'm using it, we fit no cars in it.
Oh,
But when
so
I'm
for
not
the
using
weight.
it and I just condense it, like we can
Okay,
fit a car in no problem.
gotcha. Okay, that makes sense. Like, because I do powerlifting as another hobby, and can't really power. Like, if you're trying to compete seriously, you
You need
can't
a
really use
lot.
like a you can't use a commercial gym for one.
Really?
They don't unless you have like a commercial gym that has powerlifting like racks and stuff.
Ah, okay,
Because
gotcha.
think about it, if you're like competing at something, you want to like whatever you're gonna compete with, like the gear, the equipment you're gonna compete with, you want to be able to train on that.
Right. Yeah, that's fair. You don't want it to feel different the day of.
Exactly. So at a commercial gym, like if you went to Planet Fitness and
Oh
obviously
yeah, no,
they're
they ain't gonna have
like
shit. Not
yeah, they
even
don't
like
have the
Gold's
right
Gym?
rack. Yeah, not even Gold's Gym because those are more
Damn.
bodybuilding focused. So the racks they're called combo racks,
Hmm.
and pretty much what all it is just like any other rack. You could like squat, deadlift, or squat, bench on it.
Right.
But the way the rack is, it's adjustable. So like if say like for you, your body type, you're taller than me, you have longer limbs than
Oh,
I
you can.
do. You're gonna bench on that rack, you're gonna need it at a higher height to bench than
Right.
me because I'm shorter. I got shorter arms, so you can literally adjust it on the fly. So if you ever seen a powerlifting competition, they use one rack for anybody that's 6'7" to 5'2".
Oh no shit. I
Um,
didn't actually know that.
yeah, and they can just adjust everything just on the fly with the weight on.
Oh.
So yeah, so my gym doesn't have that, and I don't live in like a super populated area. Like I could live in Orlando, and still I would have to drive probably 30 minutes to a powerlifting gym that would have those equipment.
Damn.
So but I do have some friends over here that powerlift as well, and me and my buddy just went in on. We bought like a brand new rack, calibrated plates, which are like competition plates, so they're like calibrated to the specific weight. They're like these
Hmm.
steel plates that are in like kilos. And yeah, so I ended up just got something and made some deadlifting platforms in my garage, and that takes up like fucking half my garage, so we can't even park two cars in our garage anymore.
That's dope
And
though.
yeah, it is fucking dope, and I do have a lot of great time doing it. But you can't condense it because the rack itself is like 350. I can't move that shit by myself.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's why I asked. I don't know why I thought maybe your garage was big because I didn't know you could condense all your wood stuff.
Well,
That's pretty.
the thing is, your shop is going to be as organized as you are. So like if you work to build things that fit your shop, then yeah, it's you can make whatever fit. But the thing is you have to build it. So like that's how you keep costs down, but it's also you're spending hours and days and weeks just building shit for the shop and not actually building anything. Um, and you know, like that's it's a lot of time. And as I get older, it's just time is everything to me right now, where it's like, if I'm going to spend time doing something, I really want to make sure that I enjoy pretty much every part of it, or at least as much of it as I can. So right now I'm training for a half marathon in January.
Oh really?
Yeah, and
You want to do a marathon so bad. I'm like, dude, I'm not running a marathon with you. That is
well, that's the thing.
actual.
It's just not you. That's like not your body type. That's not what you've trained ever. It's gonna only hurt what you do. So there'd be no
Exactly.
reason for you to do it. It would actually be bad for you to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I think I could do one, but like you
Oh,
said, I would have to train for it, and I'm like, Megan, I'm not like gonna train for a fucking marathon. Like
Alex,
that is not.
you
I
have
hate
the
running.
you have the willpower to do whatever the fuck you want. I don't doubt for a second you could do one. It's just you've been powerlifting since high school, so it's like your body is made a certain way. You've made it a certain way, and it's like just to detract from that
Oh,
progress.
dude,
Even
I think I would
even in my head, I'm
tear
like,
all.
don't do that. Ugh.
I think I tear all my muscles running.
Yeah, dude. Oh god. Like running is the most like there's so much more likelihood for you to actually hurt yourself running than powerlifting, which is pretty wild to think about, especially as you get older. Now she can run marathons. She can knock herself out.
Oh yeah, for sure. So she's like, all right, would you do a 5K? I was like, yeah, I'd do a 5K. 5K for sure, but that's something that I don't necessarily have to train for. I might just be
Right.
dying doing it.
Yeah. You can still hurt yourself doing 5Ks.
Oh yeah, for sure. But I think like I could pace myself, and dude,
Yeah.
it's hard to run. It's harder for me to run a mile, dude. I can't run a
It's
mile without stopping.
right. It's compromise. 5K is compromise.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but she before she dies wants to run a marathon.
Well, she wants to. If you guys want to come out to Houston, there's a half marathon in January. You can come meet my baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's being born.
October 12th is her due
Oh.
date.
Yeah, this is like.
Yeah, yeah, no, we're gonna be parents very soon. She's in there, fucking twirling around, like, it's the
It's gonna be
wildest
unreal.
thing, huh?
So it's gonna be unreal, huh?
Oh, it already is. Like she's in there. You ever watch the first Mummy movie?
No.
No. Well, there's a part in it where there's like a beetle that will like crawl into your skin, and like the like they did the FX where it's like you can see the beetle crawling through the skin. Um, and that's basically what she looks like right now. Because she's just like twirling around in there, moving. She has like these weird active spurts, like at night and the first thing in the morning. So like, you just see this thing crawling in Vanessa's belly. Um, and she's like, oh, look, she's pressing her legs, and you can feel her back right here. And so it's just a wild experience because it's like, damn girl, all right, you're gonna be ready. You better be talking by the time you come out.
Did you want a boy or a girl? You didn't care.
Oh, I assumed I was gonna have a boy just given the statistics of our family, but honest and truly, I was worried about having a girl just because I have no experience, no idea how baby
Yeah.
girls work. But like 2, 3 days before like the gender results came back, I had a dream that I was running up the driveway with a baby girl, with my little toddler girl, and I'm like, we're gonna have a girl. So, yeah, it's your hormones do weird things to you, man. Like, obviously, what Vanessa's going through is a lot different than what I'm going through, but
Oh.
it's pretty wild, like what nature does to you when this is happening.
I think that I want a boy, obviously, but I would
It's
not
just
mind if I had a girl.
it's
think
just
if-
easier to relate.
Yeah.
We do boy things. Like I shoot archery, I paint miniatures, I play stupid ass card games. Like it's easier to
When
get
I
a
told
boy to be a
Megan-
loser.
When I told Megan, she goes, "I could see Adam only having girls."
The thing is like I have this this feeling that if we have another kid, it's gonna be another girl. That's
Yeah.
why I'm like, let's just see how this goes first. Because if I'm bad with girls, I don't want to have two girls. It'd be bad with both of them.
I don't think it would be bad for girls.
I'll be fine, but
And it's gonna. I think it would be the same feeling regardless if you had a boy. It's gonna be different. You've never been, a dad. You're not gonna have,
I'm not gonna know what the fuck
like,
I'm doing anyway.
well,
So
yeah, exactly. Like you're not used to somebody like looking up to you and learning like the whole world just off of you.
yeah.
So, but that's exciting. Is Vanessa excited? I'm sure she's
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
ready.
She's definitely ready to be not be pregnant anymore.
Yeah. Does that suck?
I mean, she is easily the most graceful pregnant woman I have ever seen. Now, obviously, I don't go around pregnant women all that much,
Yeah.
but all I ever hear people do is complain about being pregnant nonstop. And not in like the cute, oh, it is what it is kind of way. It's like that, it's the worst thing ever. Oh my God, you should be worshiping me as a human. And I get it.
Yeah.
Trust me, I get it. I don't want that job. There'd be no kids. We wouldn't have kids if I had that job.
Oh,
But she just handles it so gracefully that, like, I'm like, I don't know what all the fuss is about. Don't get me wrong, they can be really bad. Like, pregnancies go wrong all the time, but with Vanessa, it's just so easy.
That's good. I hope not. We'll see. I'm not planning on having kids anytime soon, but
Yeah. Keyword is
Um,
anytime soon.
no, I don't want kids for like at least
How old are you now? 28?
27.
27?
Yeah.
I mean, a few more years is 32, and hey, I'm 32.
How is Vanessa the same age as you?
She is a few months younger than me, yeah.
Yeah, okay, same age. Well, Megan's younger than me, so I think I got some time.
Yeah,
I could probably wait till 32,
that's
but I
a
don't
good
think
amount of
Megan
time.
wants. Yeah, Megan doesn't want to wait that long.
Okay, then yeah. I was gonna say, if like you guys are actually planning a rough timeline of your life, like definitely want to start making accounts for those things, but
Yeah, for
won't
sure.
bore you with that.
I got a question. You got
So,
all these hobbies,
mhm.
right? None of them relate to anything that you do professionally. Going back now, do
Mhm.
you think you would do anything different? Like how you are today and what you're into, do you think you would do anything different,
Oh
or
yeah,
just
I would do so many things different.
like what would
Um,
you do?
well, I just would have never gone to college. That's step one.
That's
Don't get me
crazy.
wrong, I love being a veterinarian, um, but it is very stressful. Um, plus, like it, there's so many things because going to college made me who I am, but also made me realize that like it's
It's
just
a scam.
if you're a self-motivated person, you really don't need it. But most people just aren't at that point in their life for like a long time.
Yeah.
Um, and I was definitely one of those people. Like I definitely was not. So I don't think I would change anything about my life, like how it actually played out. But like if I could do it all over again with the knowledge that I have, yeah, I would probably have just gone to college for something very general, or I would have gotten an engineering degree or something, or at least pursued one, and then just really focused on getting better at like ways to be self-made, I guess is probably the best way that I could put it. Because now I'm, looking at like, so what business options do I actually have to try and bleed this, you know, I love my hobbies and also do a job and make money at the same time. So I've been looking at like purchasing an ultrasound machine and doing like traveling ultrasound work.
Like for vet, like
Yeah,
vet
of
stuff.
course. Yes, of course. I'm not touching people, they're gross. Um, but yeah, so I love ultrasound. I'm actually going to Dallas this week to do a continuing education on
Hmm.
ultrasound. So it's been quite the journey, and it's been fun, like learning about how to actually start a business and things like that.
Yeah, I think for me, I was really motivated to get out of the place I grew up,
Oh yeah,
and I was really like I was a very motivated person to just not be where I like
where
the
you
people that
came.
were around. Yeah,
Yeah.
so I was like, I'm good at math. I suck at fucking reading. I suck at writing, but I'm
Hmm.
good at math. So
Focus in
um,
on that.
focus in on engineering and just fucking. I know I'll be able to make money in that. So I just jumped into it. But like going back, because I literally did it for money, obviously.
Right.
But not everybody's like, dude. There's so many engineers that genuinely just really
Love.
love like
Love
coding.
the name of the
Really,
game.
yeah, they just fucking love that shit. They love being technical, like creating stuff, and it's just like when you get into the workforce, or at least the area or the sector of engineering that I'm in,
Hmm.
half the time you don't see what you're creating or what you're contributing to, and then
Ri-
you're in these big ass companies and you're like just doing like shit that you really don't know how this is benefiting the company or
but
how this is benefiting the project or whatever you're doing or making. And it's just not. It's like so office like. I feel It's like
Yes.
it's not like when you're in school and you're like doing these small projects and you have like a start to finish. You got this plan, you're like you got this finish line, and you're like seeing this thing like actually work and
Become.
integrated. Or
Yeah.
yeah, and maybe it's the sector I'm in, like I said.
Hmm.
But yeah, I realized that dude, I've always hated school. I've always felt like I feel like I'm intelligent enough. If somebody would take me under their wing and just teach me,
Hmm.
I could learn anything. I could be
Right.
good at anything. So I've always felt like school's kind of like not a scam, but just a waste of
It's
time.
just it's just a stepping stone, like a
Yeah,
very,
it
very
sucks.
expensive stepping stone.
And to me, I hate that you have to do it. It's like,
Yeah.
especially for engineering, you have to do it. It's like, dude, I don't even have my fucking. And I probably should. My Megan tells me to like get
Get your
framed and all
master's.
that. Well, no,
Oh.
no, no. She did. Like, I don't even have my frame, dude. I graduated during COVID, so like we didn't even
Oh.
like walk.
Oh,
So
okay.
they just sent me my diploma like in the mail. Dude, that thing is still sitting in what it came in. It's
Yeah.
sitting in my garage. I don't even have it framed up.
I
Anything.
mean, it's okay to not feel pride for your degree. Like, it's already served its purpose. You have a job.
Yeah, it's just. I feel like I take it for granted though. I feel like
Well,
people
it's
too
but
go to
here's it
school.
wasn't. It's not for granted. You worked and you did it. Like, that's better than 90% of people out there, especially
Well,
with where we came from.
yeah. I feel like with your degree, like for my degree, I feel like me going to school and like learning everything I did not teach me anything that I like. Every single time you get a job, like in my
They
field,
just teach you
they teach you. So it's like, what did I go to school for? Just
to
to be
show that you could
successful.
be taught. That's really it.
But I feel like with you, like even Justin, right? They
Mhm.
let you
We
teach them
have
to
to.
learn things. Yeah, that
We
makes more
have
sense.
to. Yeah.
So maybe one day. I mean, I know that they're trying to kind of change that. There's a lot of like areas where like if you can show that you can learn and you can show that like you've done something that's credible. Like you can be a software engineer now without fucking going to school.
Hmm.
It's like you made an app and it's successful. Not maybe successful, but like
But it
you proved that
functions.
you made yeah, and it functions and it like looks nice and like you could actually like somebody can pick it up, download this app, and just start using it. You could get a job practically, um, which is cool now. But
Well, I mean, if school wasn't so inflated in cost these days,
yeah,
like
and it costs fucking expensive
it
as
would
fuck.
they wouldn't accept that. But it's pretty remarkable just how much it's changed since I've been out of school. Like it's wild.
Yeah,
These
dude,
kids are just going into infinite debt and no one explains it to them. Or they do explain it to them and they just don't care because they're kids and fucking Fortnite and dancing and I'm 18. Gives a fuck.
yeah, they
So
do actually like going through it. When Megan was, going through some schooling. I got to see like the government does make you actually
pay
like
attention.
yeah, like they at least make you take like this like little like they make you go through a couple more hoops to get the loan now, as in like
Oh, good. Not like just fucking give it
trying
to
to
you.
help you understand like you are literally signing yourself up to take out x amount of dollars. Like you are going to have to pay this back one day. This is the interest rate. This is what this means. This is how much it's going to accrue. Like they try to explain to you now a little bit, way before, like at least I only have my experience. I'm sure this is very similar to you when you're taking out loans. Like you
Sign the
just
paper.
fucking sign up and
Sign the
okay,
paper.
this is my social, this is it, and then boom, you
Yeah.
have it.
You sign the
Versus
paper.
now they kind of explain it to you. They explain like the term, like the loan term and all that kind of stuff now a little bit
That's
more,
good.
a lot more.
Yeah.
So hopefully it's a little bit more like, okay, I am taking out $40,000 worth of debt. It's going to take me this long to pay it off. This is how much interest it's going to be. So over 10 years, I'm going to be paying, maybe 70,000. Just throwing out numbers.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
like 40 or whatever. So they at least, I think, are trying to get to that. Again, like you
It's
said, though,
too
people
little,
are
too fucking late.
yeah,
And
people
plus,
are
the
still gonna do it.
about to join the parenting force. Like, dude, people suck. People suck
Yeah,
at explaining just basic shit. Or like, they just see their children as kids. They're forever. And at no point do they ever challenge them to like try and understand life at a higher caliber. Um, I don't know if I'll be any better. I don't know if I'll be any different. But like you've got to challenge your kids sometimes. You just got to like, okay, so I know you're two, but can you ask me proper? Can you actually start structuring your sentences? I think you're old enough for this now. Um, because I see kids that are almost 2.5 that are like not nonverbal, but the parents just like speak for their kids, so their kids never actually have to speak.
Yeah.
And they're like, and they're like, oh, are you hungry? Okay, here you go. It's like your kid's about to start going to school and like meeting people. You you should you should probably work on the grunts of your child.
You
But
gonna put your kids through, or gonna do like public school, private school?
um, this is where I I I just hate that politics is everywhere now. So like I want my kids to go to school to learn math and writing and reading. Um, I, I
So you want
really,
them to go to school?
yeah, of course I want them to go to school, but it's just like kids these days, like she's gonna be growing up in a wave of tablet kids. Kids that have had the internet shoved in their face from the moment they became annoying to their parents. So like these kids are gonna like show things, talk about things, like shit that's
But you
just
don't
so
think to an
dumb.
extent that they were doing that when you were a kid, just in a
Well,
different way?
in a different way, sure, but it wasn't like this, where kids can literally see thousands of pieces of content a day. And it's like, what's just meant to hyper fixate kids' attention? At least with like SpongeBob, with Veggie Tales, with all the bullshit they just put in front of our face, you had to sit there and watch the story for 20 minutes. Like, I don't know if you've seen Sesame Street lately, but that shit's basically brain rot with colors and letters. Like, it's just so fast. But, I mean, it's attention span. You have to keep the kid engaged. But when, you know, most of American kids these days are like, if you ever been out to dinner and just look at all the kids staring at tablets with headphones on?
I mean,
Like,
try to go.
it's like
No.
50% of them. And I don't, is that right? Is that wrong? I don't fucking know. But your kid literally, you can't just sit there with your kid being a kid for an hour while you eat dinner. Like you can't do that.
Is it them or is it the kid? Because of what they
It's
did.
them. Because at the end of the day, it's like, listen, this is the bed you made. And like most people don't even want to be parents and they become parents by accident and then they get really excited about having a baby and then when that baby starts walking and talking and back talking and I just want to get back to my doom scrolling, like bro, it's hard for me to wrap my head around the scope of what's happening, and maybe I'm just overthinking it, but like if everyone's just gonna be a skibbity toilet fucking brain rot child around my kid, like, okay, she's gonna need to be exposed to that because most kids in her generation are gonna be that way. But I don't want that shit bleeding into her education. Like, it's one thing if kids are dumb around her, but if the teachers are also like just fucking doom scrolling and just don't give a shit about the kids' education at all, like why am I sending her here? Like, why am I paying money for this?
Okay, so I guess so back to the question: is she
Mm.
gonna go to public or private school?
She's probably gonna go to private school.
I mean,
Why?
maybe I'll change my mind, but I don't think I'm gonna send my kid to private. I don't think going to private school. And okay, fine. I say this. This is my own opinion, but unless my kid is absolutely retarded at
Mm-hmm.
like 12 years old,
Mm-hmm.
then I would make the switch. I would make the switch, obviously. Like if she's not getting a good education and is retarded at 12
Mm-hmm.
and can't do very simple math and like can't
Oh,
read and all that kind of
bro.
stuff, I meant to
That's
say cheat.
that's
I don't know.
late in the game. That's so
Well,
late in the game.
I'm saying, like you would be able to see those things prior to that.
Right,
So like I
right.
would make the switch if I'm starting to notice those things, and because I just don't think like I would rather save that money that I'd spend in private school into a 529 and send her or him to any college that they want to go to in the future. That like I want my kids to be able to do anything that they want to do, and
Right.
like I want to motivate them in like whatever it is they want to do as they're growing up, and like I just want to give them that, and I just feel like private school at a maybe I'm thinking of it backwards. Maybe I should be thinking about private school more so
As
in
an
their early
investment.
years. In their early years, yeah, as an investment, and maybe in high school change it to where they're going to public. I just it's expensive as fuck. It's like I could be paying like if you think about how much you would be paying for private school, you can send them to a 4-year degree, you know,
Over
college.
like 10
Pay,
years.
yeah, but
And
you can
that you have to
pay.
remember, we're going to be paying 18-year later prices on college. So all that shit's going way up, and it's constantly going way up. So that may not
So
be
I'm
true.
starting. That's true.
So it
That
just
is true.
it's basically
Hopefully,
you have
income
to,
continues to go up as well.
which
Hopefully,
it's not.
yeah.
Yeah, people are still making like it's just I just hate that I'm becoming like this is what an adult is like, where you just look at everything and you're like, okay, well, if I just focus on everything on a macro scale, I'm going to be a terrible parent. And if I only look at everything on the microest of scale, I'm going to be a terrible parent. Because like macro scale, I don't want my kids exposed to all this nonsense, blah 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 blah. But then like you're not paying attention to your kid about what they're doing, who they're hanging out with. And then if you just focus on everything on the micro scale, like, no, my kids need to go to private school. I don't want them being exposed to any phones, any tablets, nothing at all. Just I want them to be pure. Then they have a hard time making friends because how are they supposed to relate with the kids that are actually brain rotted children? Like,
Yeah.
they're gonna have to have friends, and most of their friends are gonna be these brain rot fucking tablet kids. So it's like you have to find this weird balance, and I think it's really and truly just you gotta talk to your children. Just communicate with them. People like wait until they're like 10 years old before they start actually like talking to kids, and even then they still talk to them like they know nothing. And it's like your kid's not dumb. Like your kid thinks they're dumb because you've made them feel dumb their whole life. You've never actually talked to them. So I don't know. It's just gonna be time will tell. Either I'll be a good parent or a absolutely shitty one.
Yeah.
At the end of the
Well,
day, I'm just gonna do my best.
if it makes you feel better, I feel like I didn't really have parents, and I feel like it turned out fine. So.
Yeah, I mean, anytime I'm on a call with any of my brothers or anyone from like the family, it always devolves into talking about like what we went through, which for me personally is very annoying. Um,
Oh, I'm not trying to get into
no, no,
it.
no, 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 no.
I'm
I
just saying.
know, I know, but I'm saying that it's like it's over. We did it. It happened. We're all fine. Everyone's fine. Let's just move on.
Oh yeah, I know. Like I said, I wasn't work it up or anything. I was just saying if it makes
Yeah.
you feel better.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like we've all been through that, so I feel like your kid will be fine.
Yeah.
I feel like you
Especially.
learned a lot when you were younger and how what to be like, what not to be like, where you grew up, and see how you came out.
Fair point. Fair
It was-
point.
So I feel like whatever you choose to do or how you choose to raise them,
It's gonna work out fine.
yeah,
It literally can't be worse. Like
that's what I'm saying.
like
That's
it
what I'm
can't be
saying.
worse.
Well, that's how I look at it. At least I'm excited to be a parent. I feel like,
Excited to be a parent, just not yet.
yeah, just not. I
It's
just can't wait
understandable.
to be a better parent than what my parents were, like by far.
I will say
Like,
that like it you things change about you
well, when you're becoming a parent, or you say,
when you're becoming a parent.
okay,
like, obviously I'm not a parent yet, so I really don't know what it's gonna be like, but like the pregnancy part of it is really just a prolonged like waiting period. You're just waiting. So you try and just like, or at least myself, just try and stay as occupied as I can. And I find myself fucking doom scrolling. Like, it's just like so hard to just sit in the moment and just like wait because you know you're woefully underprepared, but you have everything you can think of ready. Just one of these things where it's like just finding like it's like, okay, so this shit's got to change when she comes because I'm basically going to have an entire universe of a personality in front of me to start shaping, and I cannot hold on to any of these habits because if I do, it's really just at the detriment of my entire family.
Okay, somebody's thinking deep about it.
What else is there to do?
Understandable. True.
I mean, there's no other way to be other than philosophical about it because it is the one thing we are here to do. Like, I'm not trying to like breach the topic of like higher calling or blah 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 blah. Just looking at us as a species, what do? We reproduce. It's like the one thing that actually holds with time, with 99.9% of us. Like outside of great inventors where their inventions last forever or revolutionize something, like what are we other than just people who continue the human race? So we're doing the one thing that like our body is actually like, oh, you're doing that thing. Let's go ahead and change those hormones around and make you more of a person or less of a person. And just the loss of give a shit from like just the general person. Like most people become parents and then just keep doing the same shit they've always been doing because they're selfish. It's just I have friends that are maybe not the best parents in the whole wide world, and they try to bitch to me about their problems, and I'm like, so how are your kids doing? Oh, they're fine. You spent the last 30 minutes bitching at me about shit you're going through, and they are at like they are a big reason why because you have to fucking take care of them because they're kids. And then when I ask you about your kids, you have nothing to say about your kids. So,
How do you deal with that?
huh?
How do you deal with that? Do you just
I just stopped talking to people.
yeah?
It's just
Yeah.
like, it's okay. Listen, if that's how you're gonna be, I don't want to know what's up with you anymore. Because people
So
are
I guess
so
you'll cut it down,
selfish.
but
People are just so selfish, and they will continue to be self-centered, even at the expense of their own children, and that bothers me a lot.
so I'm assuming though you maybe talked to them up to like maybe recently to this point or whatever.
Hmm.
How did you deal with that? Okay, I guess my question is, I'm sure if you've seen it, right, that just like you said, maybe these friends aren't the best, or just kind of what they're doing, or you enjoy hanging out with them, but maybe don't agree with their life choices.
Right.
So you still like hanging out with them from time to time or whatever. Still talking to them maybe up to this point or recently, whatever.
Sure.
And I'm assuming since your wife is an outsider looking in, she has an opinion of them and maybe doesn't think, Adam, maybe you shouldn't be hanging out with them for X,
She
Y, Z.
she doesn't have nope. Nope.
Never, not one
Nope.
time.
Nope. She's a very introverted person, so like I talk to way more people than she is normal, like people around her normally do. So,
I ask because I go through that now.
mm,
Maybe Megan doesn't think that I should be seeing these people for X, Y, and Z reasons, and usually
well,
due to their life choices, she's like, "Well, why would you want to be around that?"
why do you want to
So,
continue being around them? Is what she's probably
is what
trying to
she's
get at,
doing.
and
Not
they're
continue because I'm like, we don't. It's not like I'm hanging out with these people every day. This is
right.
maybe I've seen them once or twice a year. at most.
Oh, yeah.
So that's where I get into it. And then,
Hmm.
but her reasons come up when even I'm just not around her, and then I'm like, okay, this is why she, says what she says. Doesn't make
Hmm.
sense, but
It's
it makes sense. But
there is some credence, there is some truth to it, because like you really do want to surround yourself with people that share how you feel about things. Now, if you're only seeing them every once in a while, trust me, it doesn't fucking matter. It's not like they're gonna leave a stain on you. There is a certain amount of like you're holding on to who you were, to some extent, um, and like it's completely reasonable to be like, okay, this is we are straying too far apart for us to be like close. So as long as you're not like, yo, this is my boy, I'm never ever, I'm always gonna ride with him or do whatever he's doing. Like as long as you're not like that, it's fine. But there is some truth to like really just cutting people out of your life that just don't mesh.
yeah,
Because throughout my whole youth, like I kept a lot of people around that I really shouldn't have kept around for years and years. I kept people around
but
because I
do
don't
you
know.
think that affected you negative? Because
Yeah.
I tell her like if I was gonna let people, like I guess it's just because I'm talking very generic, so you
Yeah.
already
Yeah.
know what I'm talking about.
Right.
But it's stuff that they do. Maybe they do that I don't do that we don't do
Sure.
as a couple and that kind of stuff. But I'm like Megan, if I was gonna be around, if I was gonna let people around me dictate who I'm gonna be as a person, I would never be where I'm at today
Right. Right.
because
Right. Right.
where I came from. Like, dude, I was never even fucking home. Like, I was
Yeah.
never home. I was sleeping at fucking other people's houses.
Uh huh.
Their moms at my fucking mom. So if that was the case, I would be like them right now, but I'm not.
Yes, but you're
Like,
not.
I don't think it's necessarily a problem because, like, I know who I am. I know what my goals are
Yeah.
and values, and like I said, I'm only gonna see them a couple times a year at most. But I do agree. I mean, I see both sides. I was just wondering if you ever went through that. But it sounds
Yeah.
like
Well, I can tell you personally, like I kept a friend around for many many years. And like, cause I know him. Like I know him better than anyone on this planet. We hung out for years and years and years and years and years and years. Like I know who this man is, and he just let someone into his life that completely ruined him as a person. And instead of like fucking nutting up and just like being his own, like you just have to like, he never took the buck himself. Like it was always, well, okay, at least I have something. And now he's been arrested 5 times. You know, he has no job. It's just like it's sad. Like it's sad. And you know, I the only way I could have helped him was if I straight up like grabbed him by his ear and was like, "Listen, you stupid fuck." But where is your place in doing that to a person? And I kept hanging out with him for years while all of this is happening. And yeah, just
did he
recently I actually kind of stopped talking to him. And it's
did
not
you tell
because
him?
I don't, it's not because I won't talk to him. I still talk to him from time to time. But mentally, I just put him in a different box where it's like, all right, man, well, I'm here. When your life gets together, just let me know what's up.
Do you explain those to them, or you just
Nope.
don't talk?
And that's not because, like, again, that's not really your place.
No, no, no. I'm saying like if they were like,
If they ever asked,
yo,
yeah, absolutely, I would
okay,
straight up. I'd be like, well,
that's
you really want to have this conversation? Because we'll sit down. I'll fucking have this whole thing out. I'll lay all this shit out for you where my opinion lays. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what I think. It matters what they think. And so, like, if it ever actually ended up coming up in conversation, then okay, let's sit down, let's talk about this. But it doesn't. Just the bitching and the moaning of their day in, day out, never looking at the bigger picture, is what dominates every conversation we have. So mentally, I keep them at a much further distance now than I ever have in my life. And I'm like, why did I wait so long? Like,
Yeah.
I feel like I did them a disservice waiting so long.
Feel that.
But yeah, I mean, it's more so just making sure that you have a clear line of communication with her, saying that, like, listen, I know what they are, I know who I am, I know what I do, and in my mind they are in a certain place. It's not like they're gonna drag me down with them, promise you that. And I like to keep in touch, because unless their life is as fucked up as what I just described.
Why would you want to keep in touch?
Oh, well, because she's a female, right? And like, she probably gets, like, people fuck with her all the time on a level we will never understand. Especially with like pretty women, like, bro, people talk shit about pretty women all the time about how easy their life is, but I don't think most people know what it's like to have someone just sexually aggressive towards you all the time, everywhere you go. Someone's fucking staring at you. Like, so mental, luxury, air quote, the mental bandwidth that, like, some beautiful women have to deal with, like, bro, I wouldn't keep people around me that I didn't trust or didn't like, or because it's just like, oh, this guy just wants to fuck me all the time, and it's very clear that's all he wants to do. So, in her life, it's probably way easier to just cut people out, especially with, whatever family stuff she may have ever gone through. Like, I don't know her life, but it's probably way easier to just get rid of these fucking really controlling, like, really toxic people. Because that's just, like, it's the fastest way to solve the problem. Do you ever actually get to the core of the issue? No, never. Never once. But it's just a difference of where you both come from. Like, she has a life that she has lived up to this point with experiences you'll never understand. And you've lived a life up to this point with experiences she'll never understand. But I think you're both correct. I would obviously lean more towards you, because I agree. Like, you know who you are. Like, if you were gonna be that way, you would still be that way. You'd still be sitting on the couch with them every fucking day. You'd never left where you were. So I don't see an issue with it at all. But someone who comes from a different place where, these people are a lot more, like, aggressively trying to get something out of you, like, just don't let them around.
Yeah, it's not like that. But yeah, it's just differences, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
Where she came from, her experiences, but it's not more so that she's like, no, don't hang out with them. It's just like
she's like, cannot compute why. Like, why do we have to be around these people? Like, yeah, I get where she's coming from. But
I'm like, yeah, but interesting. But yeah, I mean, it was just her birthday, actually.
Yeah, how was that? What'd you guys end up doing?
She has work, so she gets this. She's pretty much in sales now. So she fucking works, like, not all the time, but she works
a lot,
solid 40 hours a week, and she only has Thursday and Friday off, and then she goes to work, and it's a new sales job, so they make her go.
What kind of sales does she do?
She does actually timeshare sales.
Oh God, okay.
She's making pretty good.
Yeah, I don't doubt that.
It's crazy how many people just go in there. I mean, they try to sell it. It's different than, I guess, at least before she started working there, I didn't know, because I assumed that timeshares were like, there's this resort in Orlando, you pay X amount and you can come, 3 weeks a year.
Yes, exactly.
But it's not like that anymore. Or
no.
I don't know how long it's changed. So how it is now, it's more like, are you familiar with, like, credit card points or?
Yeah. Like flight miles and shit.
Yeah, so, like, like, I could fly to fucking California for 10,000 miles or something.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah,
kind of like that. So they give you. So now what you do is you pay. It's not forever either, but you know you pay a certain amount that you guys agree on, and you get an X amount of points. Now these points then you spend to stay at certain places. So that's kind of how it works now. So you have like a lot more flexibility. You can go kind of anywhere in the world, just like you could, you know, with any other credit card
yeah.
point place.
It's just
But
certain
that's kind of
places and times have more points associated with them.
yeah. So depending on you know if you are, I guess maybe like New York as an example is like it's expensive to go to New York during Christmas time, but like if you went any other time, it's fucking pretty cheap.
Yeah.
I guess Christmas time a lot of people want to go there. So if you went to New York and you want to stay there a week, if maybe you know any other time of the year it might be like 18,000 points versus like if you want to go there for excuse me for Christmas it might be like 40,000 points.
Gotcha.
So depending on where you want to go and what like if it's their season it might cost a little bit more, it might cost a little bit less, but on average things are it's pretty good value I think. And it just it also depends on the person how much you guys are traveling. Like maybe
Yeah.
we don't travel that much, but me and Megan travel a lot, so maybe it might make a sense for us to get it. Because
Especially
we're
if you
traveling
travel
so
the
much,
same
we can save
place
money.
a lot.
Well, so you can actually go anywhere. So
Oh, no shit.
if you wanted to go to Spain, for example, there's places in Spain you can stay at. If you wanted to go to
So,
South America, like South America, you can go South America. If you want to go to Thailand, if you want to go to China, like there's places they have like
much better value proposition.
yeah, so it's like it just all depends on how much you travel. Like there's people like she talks, you know, she's talking to people from all over the world, really. Like she's talking to people from Canada, from Ukraine, you know, Midwest, California. So she kind of gets a variety of people that she sees. And everybody's different. Some people travel so much that literally signing up for this timeshare
Saves them money.
saves them money. Yeah, because they're spending so much money traveling. And I guess the benefit of it is, you know, once you like, so say you signed up for it, right? And you know, you're only paying it for so long. Once you pay it off, you don't pay anything aside from an assessment fee, which is like $2,000 a year. But you still get the same amount of points, and that can be passed down to anybody you want. So it's
Oh, no shit.
so it's like once you pay it off, like say you bought one in 2024, and you know your kid when she's 27 years old, you could give it to her, or when you pass away, you can give it to her, or she could just use your fucking points.
Yeah.
Well. Like, it doesn't have to be you that's using them. But like once you pass away, as long as she can afford to pay the 2,000 a year to keep the
Keep it going.
thing, yeah, she could use those points and never have paid any of like the original payment towards it, so she could be traveling pretty much for free.
Gotcha. So it's a long
So that's
term.
yeah, it's like you sign like a deed and everything. It's like owning a property almost.
Gotcha. That's dope.
Yeah, so that's what she sells. But anyway,
How did she
there's lots
find
of
herself in that?
so she got a real estate license, and
Okay,
she
smart.
was going. You need a lot of money to get successful in real estate because it's like running your
Yes.
own business. You gotta have capital to make money. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have money to
Correct.
make money.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of advertising. There's a lot of like trying
Business
to get
cards,
leads.
meetings,
Yeah,
selling other people's houses. Yeah.
yeah. So there's a lot of like upfront cost. You know, she was serving at the time, so not a lot of money that she had. Eventually, she started saving enough money to start getting some lead services, and she started getting some calls, but nothing falls through it. Especially with residential real estate, like you could be showing somebody for fucking 2.5 months, and then
And
just
they
like, you
go,
know what,
nah.
we don't want to buy. We can't afford it, or whatever the reasoning might be. So you could just waste 2 months of your time, gas, all that shit. Anyways, long story short, she just didn't really sell anything after 3.5 months, which is normal. It's not like it's not like you get real estate license start selling fucking a bunch of houses right away or whatever.
Right.
But she was just like, I need to really start making money. And then so she was just like looking at different jobs, different things she could do. So you need your real estate license for the company that she works for. So she still has to have it active and pay, the realtor fucking fee that you have to pay every year to work where she works. And she ended up just finding the job. She's literally the youngest person there.
Good.
And she's like, I've never worked at a place like this before. It's like, I guess she's like,
It's
you can
probably
just tell, you can
super
tell
low
people
key.
make money. Well, no, she was saying like you could just tell. Like I've never been around people that like you could tell make money.
Ah, gotcha.
She's like I've literally,
They
you
ain't
know,
got
I've
nothing to
only,
prove. They got
yeah.
nothing to prove.
She's like I've only been around like you know the restaurant industry or like you know maybe
People
other
people
realtors,
putting it
but
together, trying to just piece
yeah.
life together.
And she's like, but then she comes home like the first like day or two of like their training. So she had to train for 2 weeks, and then she gets on the sales floor. So
Hmm.
the first 2 days, bro, they literally explain to you like how to invest your money, not blow your money. Like they literally do a financial class at first.
Oh,
So
nice. They're like, yeah,
I
you're
was like,
gonna be making money if you show any amount of success here, so please, this is how you should use it. That's
yeah, because
smart.
like
That's dope.
it is crazy, yeah. So that's why I was like, okay, maybe I've never heard of that.
Yeah,
I
it's
work
like,
with people that make money, and I've never heard of that before in my life. I'm like, it's a
yeah,
pretty good idea. And I guess the thought of it is like some people are really good at selling. Some people can, you know, sell anything to anybody, and they
yeah,
start making a shitload of money. And what they do is they fucking blow it.
yep.
They literally blow it, and then now they're like asking for advances
Oof.
on, and they're like, we don't. A lot of young people, though, like their experience with younger people is, you know,
They're already in debt.
are making money. Yeah, they start making money. They start blowing it. They blow it all the time. And they've seen it like happen so many times. So they really try to like if they're gonna hire somebody young, make sure they're not gonna blow money. Make sure they have a good like head on their shoulders. So I guess they've seen that at Megan, and she's like second. Dude, she's just started selling. This is her third week selling, and she makes nine. So she's on probation period since she just started. So
Hmm.
it's like 90 days, 10 weeks of like a probation period where she gets a percent less on the commission, and then she has to like show up at like 7:30 on Saturday and Sunday. And that was
Hmm.
like the main thing that they were like. She's like a lot of young people that want to like go out on the weekends and stuff like that.
You ain't doing
Like
it.
you need to be here. Yeah,
Yep.
you need to be here.
It's the
Um,
grind mindset.
no, yeah, exactly. So, yeah, so she makes, she's almost made as much money in 3 weeks as I did this month at that one.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah, so she's like the second highest selling salesperson there this month so
Good.
far.
That means that only
And
goes up.
yeah, and she literally fucking, dude, there's been, out of the 3 weeks she's been there, dude, she's got sent home because like a lot of tours canceled that day or whatever. She's gotten sent home like 3 times. Not like 'cause she did something wrong, just because they
Right. Just like there's no
canceled
work.
tours.
Go enjoy your
Yeah,
day.
yeah. And so she's done really great. She feels very accomplished when she does sell because there's a lot of people that like you know, it just like probably I'm sure like anybody has this mindset when they come in. They're like, oh my god, this is fucking
You're
not
coming in
like,
for a reason. Like
yeah,
the
because they
sale's
try to.
already made. The only way that you can fuck it up is if you fuck it up somehow.
Well, no. So that's the challenging part.
No?
So
Yeah.
so how they get people to sign up for these presentations for the most part is they'll be like, this is a good example even for you. Say you want to come to Florida, and you're like, Vanessa, let's go to. I mean, you're from here, so. But say you weren't from here, you like lived in Texas your whole life, and you're like, I would love to go to Florida for like fucking 5 days. Let's see how much it costs.
Make it like a recurring
thousand
thing.
dollars.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it costs $1,000. So how they get people to come here and do this, sign up for this presentation, is they will give you a deal where you can come to Florida, like where around where I live, for like 4 nights, 4 days, 3 nights for $200.
Hmm.
So they'll put you in a hotel for 4 days, 3 nights, $200. Anybody's gonna be like, oh, that's fucking
That's a
cheap
great
as
deal.
fuck.
Let's do it.
Fucking
You just
go.
have to come to this presentation.
You have to come to this presentation, and then when you complete the presentation, you get also $100.
Damn. Okay. Yeah.
So it's realistically like $100 to come for 4 days, and anybody's gonna be like, "Oh, that's a fucking great deal. Let's fucking go." And they just have to do this 2-hour presentation. So the hard part is for her is that's how they get people in the door to try to sell.
Gotcha.
Now, the hard part is everybody's very resistant to this. They're like, "Oh, we're just gonna fucking go to this presentation. We're definitely not buying." Blah blah blah. So she has to do
I
this whole presentation
see.
where she's trying to sell them on it,
Even though they are
and
pretty much hostile at that point, where they're like,
yes,
yeah,
they're
yeah,
very
yeah,
hostile at first.
get it
And
out of the way. Let's go.
exactly. So that's the challenging part. And then sometimes people, you know, maybe can't really afford it.
Yeah.
Some people can, some people can't. It all depends. Everybody's situation is different. So that's part of her job, trying to like, oh, well, how much do you
Determine.
guys travel? Like, because sometimes it just doesn't make sense. And she's like, honestly, this doesn't make
being honest is easily one of the best sales things you can do. It's
yeah,
like, listen, dude, I can sell you this, but it doesn't seem to make sense for you.
yeah, and then she more so will know, like, okay, I'm not gonna push hard because this doesn't make sense for this person. Because most people travel like 2 or 3 times
A year.
2 to 3 weeks a year. So for the most part, it makes sense. But there's some people like I think went on a tour yesterday where this girl, she was only like 30 years old, had a kid, doesn't have a great job. She only travels like, she said like maybe 5 days a year.
Yeah.
So she's like, okay, well, how much do you spend on like the hotels that you or whatever you use to travel with? And she's like $70. So she's like, you stay at probably like the cheapest place you can go to. Yeah, this doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it's like that.
So, but there's some people that are traveling, like a month a year. Like, there's a lot,
You end up getting the people who travel a lot on the line because they also like to save money when they travel.
Exactly.
And $200 for 4 nights.
You get more for it. So it's like, for example, just like me and her, like we'll travel. When we travel, we just usually, unless we get upgraded for free, like we just stay in like a hotel room. And then like in New York, as an example, hotel rooms are so small. Like we stayed in a place that was like 200 square feet, maybe.
Damn.
It was fucking crazy small. Like, and that was a culture shock when I went there. Like,
everything's New York's I don't know anything about New York, but it's like one of these things. It's like it's constantly evolving in the worst way possible.
Yeah. So, but like if we were a part of like the timeshare thing, if we like owned a timeshare like through her, like you get like usually villas for the same amount.
Gotcha.
Like, so you get like a 2-bed. So a lot of people, what they'll do is they'll sign up for it. Maybe it costs more, maybe it costs a little bit less, or maybe it costs the same as what they're like normally spending in travel every year. But the benefit of it is, oh shit, now we have an extra room. We can take our kids with us. Maybe they're a little bit older and their kids are like 20 years old and they'll have their own room. We have their own room. Some people want it for that. Some people are older, like older people, they like, what she's noticed is like a lot of older people like to travel with their friends, and her grandparents are the exact same way. They travel with their friends, so they'll come to Florida every year, and they have their friends also come. Well, they can fucking all go into these villas.
Yeah.
They pay like, I think if like the lowest plan you can get for like 200,000 points is like $500 a month for like 10 years, or you can do 700 a month for like 6 years or 5 years or something. So they're like, but like her grandparents as an example, dude, they come here and they spend like fucking $5 grand in 1 month.
Oh my god.
So they like stay in Florida for a month. And that's not including their car. Like
that's true.
They stop getting a car. So for like people like that, it makes more sense. And they're like, okay, well and then it even helps too, because there's people that already have timeshares and that paid them off. Maybe they got them back in fucking 2000.
Right.
Off, and they just been enjoying it. They see how much their friends are traveling, and they've gone with them, and they've seen kind of what they, can get with a timeshare, and that those are usually easy sales. So it all depends on the person, and it makes sense for some people, it doesn't make sense for some. But anyways, she's been doing that for the last like 3 weeks.
Nice. So this is a very recent change for her.
Yeah, she's really excited for it.
Good for her. That's fantastic.
She was going. I remember, dude. She was going into work hoping to make $100 serving. You know how fucking shitty it is to serve for fucking 7 hours to try to make $100?
That sounds actually terrible. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking terrible. So, she made her first sale 3 days in, and dude, I was like, dude, because she was still working her serving job, so she was working for like the first 3 weeks because she had the 2 weeks of training, where she was making $2 an hour, and then she would like work from 8 to 5, I think, or 8 to 4, and then she'd go and then serve from like 4 to 5 to like 11 o'clock at night.
Well, she definitely has the grind mindset.
Yeah, well, she had to make money.
I mean, she's young. This is the best time to do it.
So, anyways, yeah, it's all worked out, and I told her when she made that first sale, I was like, dude, just fucking quit that job. There's no point for you to fucking
keep going.
Unless
you like it.
No, dude, she went in there, and it was the day that she made the sale. She had to like go to her other job, She goes in, and I told her, I was like, Megan, just quit. Like, literally, just quit. You don't need that job. Worst case scenario, I pay the fucking bills this month. It's not that big of a
Yeah,
deal.
it's like it's fine.
You quit, yeah, you quit the job. And she's like, no, I can't do that. You know, they treated me right. You know, I've worked there for, 2 years.
Blah blah blah
She goes,
years and
she
excuse
goes in
excuse
there, dude.
excuse.
She works till fucking 10 o'clock that night. And this is on a Wednesday. And she comes back and she's like, yeah, you were right. It wasn't worth it. I made 20 bucks.
Oof.
I
Oof.
I told you to quit that job. And after that day, dude, she quit that job and she's made like 2 other sales after that.
Nice.
She's made more money in 3 weeks than she makes there in 2 months.
God.
And I was like,
Glad to hear it.
yeah, so she's super excited about it. She's been happy. And she likes it.
Good.
Some days is draining. But
That's the most important thing. Is that she likes it.
yeah, it was challenging for her. You know, she had to like memorize a script and like, show, but you have to like memorize a script, but then you also got to be able to kind of not be a robot, and then also
Yeah.
your
Know how to use the script as a guideline, not as a
yes
teleprompter.
Exactly. Yeah, so she knows a guy she started with that was older, that's done it before, and then he like kind of like did something else and then came back, and he's actually struggling right now because he's struggling to sell. Like, he's only sold once while Megan sold like 3 times, and I guess he's like super hardcore on the script.
Yep.
And everybody keeps telling him, he's like, yo, that's holding you back. Like, you sound like a robot. Like, you gotta be more personable, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, well, the people that wrote the script, they make a lot more money than me. And he just doesn't learn, so.
Yeah, hard-headed.
But
It's hard-headed. He won't make it. I mean, it's just business, though. Just how it works.
So, yeah, exactly. But anyway, she's doing good. She's really happy about it.
Good.
She's happy to be able to just like actually start to make somewhat of like grown-up money. So I'm happy for her.
And she's what, 23?
24.
24. She
So-
was 23. Now she's 24.
Yeah, she just turned 24. So yeah, she's happy. So I guess we can get into that. Yeah. So anyway, she works. She knows her weekends are technically Thursday and Friday. So luckily her birthday was on Thursday. Yeah, we just went out to dinner. We like to go to bars and drink. There's a lot of cool spots in Orlando to kind of
Nice.
So just talked. We just love talking, drinking together.
That's good. That's
And eating good.
That's a good thing you like that, because you'll be doing it for a long time.
Exactly. So yeah, and then I think we went to the beach. Like, we live right next to the water, so like yesterday we picked up takeout. I had these like credits I had to use yesterday that were about to expire, so we got some takeout somewhere, and we just pulled up right next to the water. And dude, all you see, there's so many dolphins where we live.
Nice.
Dolphins for like 45 minutes while we just ate our takeout in the car.
That sounds fucking dreamy.
It is, dude. It's crazy how many dolphins are there. I'm like, holy shit, dude. You just see them fucking going fast, jumping out the water, just crazy shit.
Yeah, they're just bored. They're just running around, doing what fucking dolphins do.
It's nuts. It was cool. It was fun. So we always do something. And we got these AMC has movie passes, so we go to the movies a lot.
Nice.
I like those movie passes. We've seen like every fucking movie that's out and is coming out.
See, I'm the same way. Vanessa is not as like not like an outgo, let's go do something kind of person, which is fine. I'm good.
Yeah.
But I do like to go to the movies every once in a while, just because it's going to the movies. We don't go nearly enough to justify a pass, but just hearing you talk about timeshares makes me think like, man, I should look into a timeshare, even though we never travel.
It like I said, it's not for everybody.
Yeah.
But
maybe
but
when
like
I'm
also there's people like you, like maybe we don't travel that much, but like shit, I know maybe Vanessa would love to travel
a little bit more.
Yeah, want to travel more, and maybe we're not going to travel this much this year, but like your points don't expire.
Right.
So like say fucking this year we're having a fucking kid, we're not going to fucking travel, but maybe you already signed up for it as an example. Maybe you
Right.
signed up 2 years ago.
Right.
He's like, well, we could just save her fucking points and fucking go on a crazy ass
What?
vacation fucking
Yeah,
next year or
when
in a
we're
couple
ready.
years when our kids fucking, a little bit older and can be watched by the grandparents or something like that. But,
I'm gonna be right back. I have to pee really bad.
yep.
Sorry, I'm back.
Good. But yeah, there's people like you that don't travel that much, but maybe you guys both have good jobs, and they're like, shit, we would love to fucking travel more.
Yeah.
And some people sign up just because of that. They're like, shit, we do want maybe because there's also smaller packages than the one I was describing.
Yeah.
So they're like, maybe we don't want to commit to something like that, but there's something else you can do. And then there's like smaller packages. You just don't get to travel as much. So maybe some people only travel 3 times a year, 3 weeks a year. So I'll do that.
The thing is, I get 12 PTO days.
God, this is fucking terrible.
I mean, it's very different what I do because we are simultaneously like, yes, we need time off, but we're also the only reason a hospital makes money. So like when we're not there, the hospital makes no money. So by definition, I'm not going to have a lot of PTO because there's no other way for the money to be generated. So I understand why or how it got to be this way. Plus, like, for the last 80 years, being a veterinarian meant that you just gave up your entire life to be a veterinarian. Like, yeah, my livelihood doesn't matter. I'm just here for the animals, and you can pay me nothing, and that's perfect. And that's the only reason why veterinary medicine has made it this long.
Did it change? Do you make more money now than you did in the past?
Oh,
Not
I was
specifically, just
coming
as a
out of
vet.
school. Coming out of school, I was expecting to make 74,000 a year,
Jesus.
and that's not what I
Sound like
make.
Justin.
But yeah, that's what when I went into vet school, which was almost 10 years ago now, that was what I was anticipating. Like I was expecting that. So yes, a lot has changed, but when now we're in like this weird clash of old school and new school, and like no one's able to find the balance. It's a shit show, but I mean,
Is that how?
we do fine.
Do people coming out of school expect to make more money?
Oh my god, they're expecting to make way too much money. Like, there's
It's
no
funny.
way you can produce that. Like, there's no way that you're gonna, and it's not worth investing. You want 160,000 a year, and you don't want to work weekends. Like, I don't even make that much, and you're expecting that out of school. Like, you're insane. And that's just because everything and everyone is owned by corporate now, and corporate has all this extra money to just launder into vet med so that these new kids on the block can just come out, work for these corporations, hate their job, and quit in 2 years. And then when they try to find another job, they're not going to get paid that much because now there's an actual record to show that they don't make that much. And it's just a shit show.
It's funny that you say that because I guess it's not vets that deal with that either. Like the veterinarian practice. I was talking to I'm pretty outgoing, so I guess I could talk to anybody. But
Right.
I went to the eye doctor like last year. Um, I was talking to him because I have had insurance for a while, but I guess I've been doing practice that I guess wanted to invest a lot of money into what they had there. So you do a couple tests, make sure your vision's good, your eyes.
Yeah, when you actually have the means, you just, yeah, I'll take an extra test to make sure I'm all right.
Yeah, so he had a lot of stuff that I have never seen before.
Yes.
I gave him a compliment, and I was like, hey, I just really wanted to say, hey, I've never seen X machine, blah blah blah. He's like, oh, I really appreciate it. He's like, I've never seen, just the way they had their office. It was more
Very clean.
state of the art. Yeah,
Yes.
clean, more state of the art, more advanced than the ones I'm used to seeing, I guess. So gave him a compliment. He's like, oh, I really appreciate it. I invest a lot of money into my practice, blah 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 blah. And we started talking, and I was like, oh, why'd you, open it up here? He's like, oh yeah, well, like 15 years ago, I was looking for an office to buy, and blah blah blah. We started talking about that, and he's like, the biggest issue I have right now is, he's like, this is usually how it goes, at least in the eye industry,
Right.
Doctors and stuff. He's like, usually you'll either open up your own practice, work for a corporation, like you're saying, and whatever. But if you try to work for a family practice, usually the incentive to work, you might not make as much money, but the incentive is like you're working to like own it.
Right.
So, like,
Right.
you get part of the business the longer you're there, yada yada yada. He's like, because I'm old. He's like, I've been doing this for so long, I've hardly come in. He's like, I want to hire somebody to like take over my business. I don't want to be doing it forever. And like, I don't hate my job at all. I only come in twice a week.
But
as
he's
much
looking
as I
at
really want to.
he's looking for the dismount.
Yes, he's looking for the dismount. He's like, the problem is like these kids, they go to school and they expect to be making so much money that they like literally said the exact same thing as you. He's like, but the problem is like, and I would love to pay them that much.
Yeah.
But
they need to make
problem
that
is
much.
they don't make that much. They cannot make and produce that much money that they're asking to be making. And he's like, that's the biggest problem. That's why I can't, because like he said, I can't find somebody. I can't find,
Can't find another doctor. Nope.
Yeah, and I was like, really?
No one wants to be doctors.
Yeah.
You tell people from when they're very much children the whole time that you're going to make all this money because you're a doctor and everyone's going to respect you, that when they actually come out of school and reality sets in, and it's like, we can't, there's no way we can pay you that. Like, there's no way.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, well, then I'll just go to this venture capital group that owns 180 practices and they'll pay me whatever I ask them to. It's all very shady. It's all very gross. Like, the day practice model is dying, so soon it's going to be Banfield or die, which is disgusting to me, but I digress. I don't have control over the market. All I can do is observe what's happening.
That's good. I freaking but you're saying the exact same thing. He's like, it kind of sucks because these younger people, they don't see
they don't see the future. Yep.
He's like, once you own your own practice, you're barely working. Then the cycle repeats, and you got other people working for you. You're making a shitload of money, and you're not working anymore, or you're not working as much. You work as much as you want to work.
Right.
Like having to work every single day, or coming in on weekends, or whatever. But he's like, yeah, people don't see that. But I guess he was telling me that eye doctors, they don't make money off of like actual service. They only make money off of like the lenses.
Yep. Selling glasses.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate.
It is unfortunate. He's like, yeah, I was gonna buy a place in South Florida a long time ago. This guy was making $5 billion a year, and you would walk in there and you'd be like, there's no fucking. You would never even guess it. He's like, it was just a small little size of
a fucking kiosk.
Yeah, kiosk, and you would never believe. He's like, it's all about how much glasses you sell. He's like, he had like a little curtained up fucking place where he's finding the prescription.
He does the exam, and he writes the prescription for you. They order the glasses. They make their money.
Exactly. But it's funny that you guys are doing the same thing. It's
It's
unfortunate. It's the same thing with Justin.
Yep.
Justin's field. Dude, they fucking go into. I think it all stems from school being too expensive.
Yeah.
Because if for example,
how am I expected to pay this back?
yeah,
You're not.
and I think that's kind of where it stems. Like if you're going, you could get a doctorate degree for even let's just say 60K. Debt. I still think that'd be manageable and more realistic for what these people are coming out of school making. To be able to pay back. But when they're in fucking 150 quarter million, it's like
That's cute.
Yeah, it's like how the fuck am I ever gonna pay this shit back?
It's just progressively, and you do your best.
Yeah.
And the thing is, no one teaches you how to handle your money. Like, no, they don't teach that. So.
Dude, I think I got to the. I think I'm gonna like not. I think that it doesn't even make sense necessarily to even pay back my loans. I'd rather pay the minimum to where I'm not increasing the interest. Like I'm not increasing the balance. But again, this is for my situation. Because like for you, it'd probably be really hard to do that, just because probably to do this is such a big payment, anyways.
Yeah, it's
like kind of like let it ride.
Right now, it's fine. Just gotta let it ride for a little while. Like, it's better to pay off my car. It's better to pay off the new roof. Like, it's better to pay off these other high interest loans.
Exactly. For me, like to make a small like dent in my loans and not have it increase the balance is like $300. So it's like, okay, I'll throw $300. That probably like brings down the principal $10.
Not even, but
yeah, maybe not even that. But the main thing is I don't want it to grow into something unmanageable. So I pay $300, and I'm like, I'd rather take that extra money that I would place towards those loans and just invest
pay off your car.
Dude, I don't even do that. My car is like a 2.5
Oh, okay, then you're
5 interest rate.
Oh, then you're fine.
I'm on the last like 2 years. I paid literally $15 in interest.
Nice, not bad.
So I'm just like, I'm not paying off my car. So I invest. Dude, my goal is to retire. I hate working. I hate doing what I do, and
I don't think you hate working, because then you wouldn't do it the way you do it. I think you just hate doing it for other people.
No, dude, I literally hate my job.
Okay, fair enough.
I hate what I'm doing, and I wish I could do something that's more engaging. But I think it's kind of my fault. I like kind of like left.
You could go find a job. You can go find another job.
But dude, I make good money, and I work from home full time, and I hardly work. I work maybe 20. On average, I work maybe 20 hours a week.
Nice.
So it's like maybe
it's a sweet gig. Do you like the golden handcuffs though?
Not really, but listen. So I invest so much money that my goal to retire is at 45. Like, dude, I'm investing more than teachers make.
Nice.
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 All of my accounts. And we live a pretty decent life. Like, I got a brand new house, 4-bedroom, 2-bath. Like, we realistically could stay here.
Yeah.
And like have 2 kids and be perfectly fine. So it's not bad, but I do want a nicer house, a bigger house.
I mean, then you're not retiring at 45.
Well, the goal now is like that's if I don't make any more money.
Right.
So my goal is to try to make as much money as possible. So fucking just trying to climb the corporate ladder, man.
That's fair.
So
yeah, maybe you'll find yourself in a job that you like, or just one that's a little better.
I think I don't really like the technical, or not technical. So I'm like going more management, because that's where you make money. Like running the shit is where you make money. You doing the day work and actually coming up with the product and the solution does not make you money, which is very sad. So I just don't like the management shit. I feel like that it's not engaging. Like you don't learn anything. Like a middleman.
Well, it's not about you learning things. It's about you getting things done. That's why you make the money.
Yeah, I guess that's the point right there. You just hit it on the
Yeah,
head.
it's like it's not about you knowing things. It's about you getting the job done. That's what it is when it's about making that money, man. Like that's why some bosses can be so disingenuous, so like callous, because it doesn't matter. None of the emotional bits really matter unless your employees are like cats, which oftentimes they are, or even the slightest bits of transgression can easily make them not want to work for you anymore. So it's a balancing act of being human but also getting the job done. But if you just ignore the being human part and just focus on getting the job done, like you'll make crazy money, but you'll also be someone who is deeply hated.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, like if I could do any, like, dude, if I could make like $80,000 a year, take home 80K, not
Mhm.
take home, but just like net 80K,
Yep,
and like own my own coffee shop, I fucking would in a heartbeat.
you can. It's just
You have to open up multiple coffee shops. You're not making 80K net. Take home, like the owner is netting 80K off of one shop.
damn, that's rough.
Yeah, it's fucking rough. Well, you got to pay employees, you got to pay the rent, you got to pay
Well,
fucking insurance,
if
you got to
you
pay for
okay,
coffee.
you have to own a roaster. That's where money is made in coffee, is in
Yes,
roasting.
yes. I'm
And
not talking about
because
roasting.
because I know a local shop that does roasting and is a coffee shop.
Yes, yes.
Um,
Agreed.
and
Agreed.
they are just now opening their second building.
You
Like
think they're making 80K? Well, yeah,
I don't know, I didn't ask them, but
probably are. If they're roasting their own coffee and people are buying their coffee, yeah.
yo, roasted coffee is like it's almost like gold. Like if you can take the raw product and turn it into a usable product, and then you get that shit sold in like Publix and stuff like that, you are going to be making money hand over fist.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because green coffee, as an example, is maybe $1 a pound.
Yeah,
I buy coffee that, and I buy, well, okay, so if I'm buying expensive coffee, as an example, I guess there's tiers to it. I would say
right.
mine's mid to high tier.
Hmm.
12 ounces of coffee roasted that probably costs $1.
To
And that's
buy.
if you're
Yep.
buying in bulk. Is dollar green. It's probably I'm paying $22. I just paid $22 for 10 ounces. So imagine how much fucking money they're making off that fucking raw material right there.
Well, you got to pay off the roaster and you got to pay someone to run the roaster, but it,
Yeah,
yeah,
you
it
gotta pay for that. You gotta pay for the actual
where it is.
transportation. There's a lot that goes into it. I'm not saying that.
You remember Chris, right?
Chris
From college.
Todd?
He was my roommate forever.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. He worked at a coffee roaster for a very long time. And he
Nice.
knows coffee very well. You guys could easily
Oh, he probably
connect
knows
on that.
shit too.
But yeah, no. I talked to him briefly about like I could buy a roaster and I could lease and I could sell and like help me make sure I understand what I'm looking at, because I've been looking at like how to start my own thing for a while, even non-vet related, just because it's like I just need to like have something different. Like I just need to do something different. If how I do my hobbies is any reflection of who I am as a person, is that when I'm just sitting and doing the same thing for too long, like I can't. My brain is just like it's time to be different now. It's go move on, and that's not like the best mindset to have in the whole wide world, but it also makes it so that I'm constantly diversifying my way of thinking of things. Like, what
You ever
is.
thought about going into real estate?
No, God, no. I looked into it. I definitely looked into it. But managing properties and all of that shit is basically like having a second job. It's really not that passive of an income.
No, it's I never said it was, but I know people try to come back to this.
Like, the only reason I haven't just jumped into doing something else in addition is because, like, it's not worth the stress, and it's not making me nearly as much money per minute as if I just kept doing veterinary medicine.
Hmm.
Like, could I make
Agreed.
some could I make
That's
something that makes me a lot more money? Absolutely, but I got to spend 3-4 years doing that. And like, I've already spent the last decade of my life making this happen. So it just isn't worth the time to me anymore. Because if it's worth that amount of time, I could just become a radiologist and triple the amount of money I make per year
yep.
in 2 to 3 years. So it's like cost benefit analysis, and just like unless I am absolutely obsessed with the thing that I'm doing, there's no way I could justify changing. And that's where ultrasound comes in, because it's the one thing I'm actually obsessed about that is adjacent to my work. So
Yeah.
it has a real shot of actually being a business that I start.
Should fucking do it. I mean, how much would it cost you to start?
51 grand.
That's deep.
It's not that deep.
Not
Think
that
of,
deep. Like,
well,
obviously you could do it, but like, how fast would
6 months.
you could return that investment in 6 months?
Well, if I had like a clientele and everything, like, yeah, I could have it paid off within 6 months. But
Okay.
um,
So
it
realistically, if you started this, it would take a year.
at least a year, which is, hey, what are you fucking doing? Sorry, I'm yelling at my dogs. Um, but that's, yeah, I mean, that's magical pixie land, just fucking everything's perfect and everything worked out exactly the way I thought it would.
Why would you
Um,
start with that? How would
huh?
you get clients? How would
I
you get
would
clients?
I would start as a relief veterinarian, just relief at hospitals, bring my ultrasound and go, hey, I also do ultrasounds. So if you need me to come here just to do your ultrasounds,
Okay,
here
so
you
you would
go.
be more. So you cater to like businesses and private.
Yeah.
Okay,
My
so it's not like.
clientele would be the business, not random
Okay,
people.
yeah, okay, that's
Because
what. That's
people
what.
have no idea if their dog needs an ultrasound.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. So,
general people don't usually call people up and go, could you ultrasound my dog?
so why would a business do a lot of businesses just not have the ultrasound machine? Like, why would?
Well,
And I'm just asking.
okay. Your eyes got big when I said 50 grand to start. That's generally what it would cost to have a high quality machine. And then you need someone who actually uses it and is trained to use it so that they can actually sell exams. And we've already touched on the topic that it is really difficult to hire people right now. So unless you already have someone in house that loves ultrasound and is already doing it, then you have no one in house who's doing
Because it's
ultrasound.
me.
Um, so I basically make it so that you don't need to buy the machine and you don't need to hire someone who knows how to use it, especially for hospitals that are owned not by doctors but by like regular old people. Um, so
You know, it's interesting, and it's funny you say that because like I feel like all of the places around me, like I don't have a fan field near me.
mhm.
Like I think they're all private practices. I would
Air
venture.
quote private.
Yeah,
A lot of them have probably already been purchased by a venture capitalist.
I think so. Yep.
No, so.
Definitely not the one next door to me. God, he's just not a good doctor.
Hey, no, and that's the thing. Like, you got to be old school set in your ways to not do the thing that is the most obvious thing for you to do to make a ton of money and retire, and that's sell your practice. These practices are selling for $8 million, $9 million, and you're just selling it to the highest bidder essentially. So
Yeah.
will they carry what you believe is, you know, why you
So
started the business in the first place? Huh?
why don't you start this radiology thing?
What do you mean?
Why don't you do it?
Well,
You say you're
so,
passionate about it. You say it's not that much to start. So
well, yeah, I also have a wife that is very risk averse, so about to have a child. So just saying no to a stable source of income I don't have
Oh,
any
so you would
qualms
have to
about
quit.
it.
So you would have to quit
Yeah,
your
I'd be
job.
like going and doing my own thing.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Yeah, I didn't. That's where I didn't know if you're doing this in adjacent to still working,
nope.
or so that's why. Okay.
Because if I'm gonna get this thing off the ground, like I've got to go out and get this thing off the fucking ground. Um,
When do you think you could?
I want to start as soon as possible, but
Well, I'm
again,
talking about realistically. You're having a kid and stuff. Like, when do you
yeah, like December, January.
Oh, really? Oh, you're saying like.
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
not fucking like. What do you think I am?
I thought
Like
you were talking about like
being around
after
the
a fucking
bush?
year. Yeah.
No, dude.
Well, I mean, I'm
Like
assuming.
I can own the machine for a year before I actually start really doing a lot of like actual exams and things. Like that's a definite possibility. But I've trained my dog to lay in a trough so I can do practice exams on her. Like I'm not trying to sit here and like, okay, maybe after 3 years we'll revisit and see if you're good
Well,
enough.
I
It's like,
assume.
no, I'm
I
trying to get this
assume
shit
that.
done.
Yeah, and that's great, and I think you should. Because one thing that I've learned definitely is you're never gonna make money working for somebody else.
Yeah, I mean, I'll
That's
make
why I
money. It's
regret
just
going.
it's very capped. Like it's so capped.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I don't want to. Yeah, exactly. That's why I agree with you. Like going back now, I wouldn't go to school. To be honest with you, I wouldn't
Yeah,
go to
it's
school.
like this big ass bill I have now, and it's like, oh, I work to pay it off.
I don't even look at it like that. I mean, because you actually have a big bill, me, but yeah, well, that's cool. Like, I just assumed that you probably had to wait till, because I'm assuming, I don't know your guys' financial situation, but you got your house a long time ago, so I'm assuming that you guys could live off of her income, right?
That's if
Or
she
both?
wants to stay full time. So
I'm
we've
saying,
talked.
like, if she was full time while you're trying to kick this off until,
Yes, exactly. Could we live off of hers? Yeah, absolutely. But our lifestyle would change a lot. Um,
like. But those are the
but it's
sacrifices to start
yeah,
your own business stuff. So.
exactly. It's something that we've talked about, and like she gets really good insurance through her work. So I, the one thing I kept hearing over and over again when I would talk to people about it is, oh wow, it doesn't seem like you've done your homework. And it's like, okay, listen, I've been probably putting an extra
Are these
20 hours a week in
are
researching
these
all of this stuff, and
people
I'm,
that are also vets or normal people that don't know what they're talking about?
well, accountants, yes, other vets, like, we've been sitting here talking for 10 minutes, and like, I'm sorry, I'm not making this sound like I'm going to go out and make tens of thousands of millions of dollars immediately. But I've done a lot of fucking work. like, and just because I'm not sitting here and just lamenting the entirety of everything to you right now, doesn't mean I'm not out doing the work. So
Well, listen,
that shit's
Adam,
been
have you ever
pissing me off.
have you ever watched like successful people that have created obviously not the scale of what you're trying to do, but have you ever watched like Mark Zuckerberg, like Jeff Bezos, like dude, all these people that have made, and I'm not saying that you're going to be making $1 billion business,
Right, right, right.
you could, but what I'm saying is like there's like there's a common theme between all of them. They're like, people thought I was fucking crazy.
Yeah,
Me,
it's
like
like
people thought
nonstop.
they were like, "What are you talking about? Like you're not gonna make money doing this, or have you done your homework? Why would you do that?" You know what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
I think that if you truly believe, you should just do it.
Yeah,
Because worst case scenario, you're out 50 grand, you go start fucking working back at the fucking vet.
yeah. It's like,
As long as
cause
you're not gonna be homeless
yeah,
and you're still gonna have a place to live, you'll still be able to have a family, roof over your head, food on the table. It doesn't matter. Might as well try something.
yeah,
The last thing you want to do is be fucking, 80 years old and be like, damn, I really wish I fucking tried that when I was
yeah,
32.
yeah. When I could have,
Took the risk.
yeah. Cause the thing is, it's
I,
like
if,
if I was like, oh, I want to start my own practice, my own brick and mortar, yeah, talk me out of that. That's a fucking terrible idea. Um, because I'm talking 50 grand. That's like easy $1 million in the hole just to get fucking the ground broken. like just to start construction. So
Yeah, I think I would need to open up my own coffee shop like 100 grand.
that's yeah. It's so like I'm talking. This is like fucking
Yeah,
pennies comparative to the businesses that
big.
people in my position tend to make or would make.
No, so all I'm saying, all I'm getting at is if you believe, you should try it. 50,000 is fucking nothing, bro. What I've realized is like in the grand scheme of things, 50,000 is a lot of money. But in the grand scheme of things, of what it could possibly make you, or if you would enjoy it more, like I said, like if I could do something that I truly like love to just like
Go
wake
and
up every
do.
day and go do, I would take a fucking pay cut in a heartbeat. As long as I could like live and
Everything
whatever.
else is settled.
Yeah. And realistically, dude, I do not need like all my bills to live. Probably with the car and everything, I probably need like 3 grand a month, 35 maybe, to like live and like have groceries, have my car payment, have gas, basic shit. It's not like I need to be making $1 million a year.
Right.
Realistically, like if I found something that was like, dude, I would love to do this every fucking day, or something that I could just come and go and it makes at least 3,500 a month, like I would
Snatch that opportunity right up.
right up. So, like I said, if it's something that you think you can make as much money as you're making now, or even close, but you enjoy doing it,
Do it.
You're not working as much. Do it.
Yeah. I make my hours.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Fuck that.
I mean, yeah.
So I think you should do it.
Thanks, man. That's the plan. So.
Well, I hope it works out. We keep it posted.
Yeah. Right.
Our own business too. Shit. Fuck.
Yeah.
That's one thing I've learned. Like I said, like after being in corporate,
you're just someone else's chess piece.
Yeah, and it's just like even when you're even at the top,
you're still someone else's chess piece.
Yeah, it don't matter how fucking high you are. Even if you're the CEO, fucking working for the stock investments. So, but yeah, man, it's
life's an interesting thing. It's just fun to talk about.
Yeah, no, for sure. We don't talk too much, and I feel like I didn't text you back, so I apologize.
No, it's good. When I saw you online, I'm like, oh shit, I'll see what's up.
Yeah, I fucking get caught up in
all kinds of shit.
Yeah,
life,
video games, hanging out with my girlfriend, fucking working out, fucking.
You get caught up in life.
Watching dolphins. But you never know what's gonna fucking happen. So
I would rather you do that than return my text.
But yeah, definitely grow, dude. I want to do a camp. And Megan was adverse to it at first until we actually went to Oregon and started hiking. She, I think, likes it as much as I thought I was gonna like it, and I like it as much as I thought I was going to. But we want to do a 2-day hike around Mount Hood, which is one of the mountains in Oregon.
Nice.
And you could literally hike around the whole entire mountain. Mount Hood is like beautiful fucking mountain.
Yeah.
You probably have seen pictures and you're like, oh, that's Mount Hood, and it's like a very iconic looking like mountain, like with a lake and fucking forestry. But anyways, there's a 2-day fucking hike. I want to do it so bad. I'm kind of scared to.
Why?
Sleep at night, but.
So you'll be fine.
Fucking do it.
You'll be fine.
I'm gonna fucking do it. I'm gonna do it, but.
It's okay to have apprehensions, to be nervous.
Yeah, no. Oh, I'm gonna do it. Trust me. I want to do it bad. I think. I'm trying to go to Thailand too. I want to go to Thailand.
I'm trying to see those lady boys.
Pretty much. No, I want to go to Thailand. Dude, Thailand's just so cheap. You'll live like a fucking king out there for like 2 weeks for fucking the same like you would pay to go stay in California for fucking 5 days.
That's how it was when we went to Argentina about 2 years ago.
Oh.
And it was awesome. But now that they have hyperinflation and all that stuff, it's like it's really not that much cheaper anymore.
Yeah. Oh, 1 second. Be right back.
Yep.
All right, there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, I just been enjoying life. Try to live a stress-free fucking life. Try not to worry about anything, kind of thing. So
As much as you can, yeah.
yeah, life's like realistically, it's not bad. Although, good
Life
life.
gets a lot easier when it's finally together.
Yeah, that's why like I try not to complain about how much I hate my job because in reality I don't
It's
like
really
have
not.
any.
It's not
I have
bad.
a luxury of not worrying about anything besides how happy I am as a person,
Yes. How fulfilled do you
which is a
feel?
luxury. Yes, and that's a luxury. I feel like. Good point.
Same. Lol, same.
Yeah. So feel fortunate and blessed to be where I am, have what I have, you know. So I think it all worked out in the end. But yeah, I really hope that you do what you're aspiring to do, and I hope it works out.
So far, it seems like there's no other trajectory that this can go. Because things are just. It's just.
What do you hate about being a vet right now?
Just
Like,
stressful.
just
I'm just stressed all the time. It's a very stressful
so
job.
But is it just because you're working a lot of hours, you're seeing a lot of patients, because you have to see a lot of patients to make, X amount of money, or is it
The thing about
what
veterinary
about it?
medicine is that I have to be infinitely good at my job. Like, I have to be so good at my job. And still, it's not enough. Like, people come to me with their problems, and it's like, this needs an internist, or this needs advanced imaging, or this needs whatever. Because dogs, even though their health is different, they still have terrible things happen to them all the time. So like you have to become super creative in how you like manage these cases, and people are so not understanding of like, no, I'm literally putting everything into trying to save your pet, and you are doing everything you can to actively just lament everything I'm doing because you think I'm air quote here for the money. So like I'm trying to
What do you think could
provide.
change that?
What is that?
What do you think could change that? Because it is expensive.
You just
I
got to
go,
get
I,
better at
I,
talking. You just got to get better with talking to people. It's like, yes, it's expensive. I know it's
I'm
expensive.
saying, do you think that people would pay for? I mean, maybe this already exists, like pet insurance,
Yes, and it does
just like
exist.
there's health insurance.
Yeah.
Is that worth it?
Yes, hands down, totally worth it.
How much is? Do you know how much that shit is?
Depends.
Looked into it. Never looked at it.
Um,
Every time
and-
I go to the vet, it's like fucking $600,
yes.
$1,000. Like holy.
Well, it
fucking
depends.
Shit. So
Like,
you already know it's coming up.
yeah, it depends. Like, are you doing a full annual? Like, are you doing a full panel blood work? Is your dog sick?
I will say, this was, I didn't pay paid for the heartworm, flea. I mean, that bill was like fucking $30 a month. So
Mhm.
I bought like 12, so that was like $300.
Yes, yes. So
So
there
it's
you
not
go.
really. It wasn't necessarily the actual event, but
Yeah, you didn't have to
you
buy a
kind of
year's worth
got.
in that moment. And most of the
Yeah,
time, I tell
but
people not to, because I'm like, I mean, it's good, especially with Simparica Trio if your practice. Because the thing is, Simparica Trio has a mail-in rebate, where if you buy 6 months worth, you pay for 5 months worth. And like,
yeah,
I'm
that's why.
yeah, so I make sure everybody gets that. But when you take that away, you unfactor that, like the visit, especially if you're doing full blood work and everything with vaccines, might cost anywhere between $300 and $400. Um, a lot
Yeah, no,
of,
that,
a lot
I also got
of. You also got
he
what?
has like he has like a not a pit bull, like a bump on his leg,
Hmm.
and they tested that out.
Oh, nice.
That cost me. It's just like fatty tissue. She
Yep.
said though, if it does get
Change.
bigger,
Let me know.
yeah, she's like if it gets any bigger though, you're gonna have to put him to sleep. And
Go under anesthesia.
yeah, which is
Being put to sleep is very different connotation.
yeah, that's under yeah. He has to just like get surgery.
Hmm.
If it gets any bigger. But But
Yeah.
she said it's just fatty tissue, so you shouldn't have to worry about it.
Yep.
So. She actually like so that's what I'm saying. Like one vet I was going to just fucking terrible. Like we'd pay, dude. My girlfriend has a cat that she brought over here. It was her childhood cat.
Mhm.
Fucking dude, like you can. We have 2 cats, right? We have one that we've had for a while. We got this new one, right? Not new. She's old, you know. She was just at the mom's house for a while. Bring her over, and you can tell when a cat has something wrong with her.
Right.
This fucking cat is sneezing.
Oh.
Having sneezing attacks all of the time.
Did it have a nasal tumor?
It has something we don't fucking know.
Oh.
So Megan, I was like, Megan, like, there's obviously something wrong. Our other cat's not doing that. So let's take it to the vet. And this is like, I mind you, this is before Megan has this new job or whatever. So $300, she goes to see this vet, tells her everything's going on, and this is our old vet. This is why we stopped going to him. She tells her everything is going on, and the cat is. She gets in like. It's not like she can't breathe to the point that she can't really move because she's gonna die because she can't breathe.
Right.
She can still be like a little jumpy and getting like a little hyper.
Be a cat.
Kind of run around. Yeah, be a cat still. But she genuinely sneezes all the time and like.
It doesn't
not
stop.
Normal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not stopping. It's not like she just sneezed for a second. So, anyways, she explains all this stuff to her, or to him, and he's like, "Yeah, I think she's fine. She's good. $300.
Oh, okay.
$300. This cat is still fucking sneezing like crazy, and I know something's fucking wrong. We don't know if maybe she has a tumor. Who the fuck knows what is going on with her? But right now we can't afford to take her back, so we're waiting till Megan gets all these commission checks in to take her back. But like, yeah, dude, it's just night and day difference between like a vet that cared. Like we took in Simba because he had like a limp on his leg. I didn't know, like he was limping on one leg, so that's why we took him. And so, dude, they like it's like it's just a night and day difference. Like the vet there was literally checking out his joints, checking out everything. She's like,
yeah, it's like
I might have to give him X-rays to see. But I'll be able to tell after I do a couple like just tests, like right in front of us. So I think he did get an X-ray that day. She's like, yeah, everything's fine. I'm not really sure why he's limping because everything looks good.
soft tissue damage.
He has like that's what she was saying. She's like, we can give him some medication to just kind of have him like chill out. Just don't have him be running around anything, but he should be fine. And then they checked the fatty tissue, and then we got a couple vaccines and stuff like that. But like you could just tell the difference between like a good vet and fucking bad vet. And like, it's just so annoying to pay for like a bad
to roll the dice.
Like he didn't even like try. It's just like every time we went to him, it's like he didn't take what we were saying seriously or try to like really figure out what's wrong with the cat or the dog. And that was so fucking annoying to waste money for somebody that just doesn't seem like
checked out. Someone who's checked out.
So I can understand that. I've only been in one vet, but in my experience too, though. So I don't know if it's as common, but
it is
definitely bad guy.
Yeah, I was told that me on my worst day is some people on their best day.
Like, dude, this guy's old too, bro. Like he's had his own fucking practice forever, and I'm like, and then you go look at his reviews, and all these people are saying how good he is, and you're like how? Because
he's cheap.
Fuck?
He's cheap.
Yeah.
How good you are is on a review is how cheap you are. Like old vets, because back in their day they just had to make it work with whatever they had, and so now that they have everything at their fingertips, they're like, man, don't worry about it. Your cat's eating.
It's just, yeah. It's just, man. It's just like, cause she's going through something. Like she's sneezing all over the fucking place, bro. All over the place. Like she can barely breathe sometimes. Like she's like.
Okay, yeah, that.
Wrong.
I'm not giving you medical advice, but you could try and look at the roof of her mouth and see if it looks wrong. But
the roof of the mouth. Like she looks like she has like something out of her nose. Like,
oh, then. Well, you can send me pictures, but.
Yeah, but my point is, you took it to a vet, and even if it was simply something that you could just see off of appearance, that's something that I think that somebody that's a vet would be able to say. Right off of like looking at her, So, but anyways, back to what I was saying. But you think if it was standardized more so that animals were on pet insurance, that you guys would make more money?
It would make a different problem, but sure, people would be more willing to say yes to things. Because then,
So many
because then
fucking
people like that end up making an obscene amount of money because they just charge it to insurance. Like it just with any new solution comes a new problem, and so vet med is a weird. You either have the best people or the worst people doing it. Like the worst interaction I ever had as a doctor was from another veterinarian. Like I've had
they were a vet. They were a vet taking in their animal to you, or
no, they were a vet and not kind. They were just very non-kind people. Like you're asking about a mutual patient and they are talking to you like you are actually worth less than the dirt beneath them. And it's like I've dealt with many angry clients. I've dealt with many people that like, they're upset, and I get it. None of this is fun for anyone involved. And even the worst clients I've ever worked with can't come anywhere near how this other veterinarian treated me. Like it was the wildest thing. Yeah, have you ever been so disrespected by somebody that you didn't even know what to say? Like you just sat, you're just like, okay, well, I guess this
That's
conversation's over. You're just like, okay, well, I hope you have a good rest of the day, and you just have to hang up the phone and go, wow, okay. I don't remember a time ever in my life where I've ever been so disrespected. So, yeah, veterinarians, yes, we put our entire life on the line so that we can save pets, but then there's good actors and bad actors still. I don't know where I was going with that, but even as a veterinarian within the field, that is still something we very much experience. Is like, good lord, you can just tell the difference between someone who really kind of faked it until they made it, shit, and someone who actually somewhat even gives a damn.
Yeah, makes sense.
How's the Elden Ring going?
Oh, I'm playing right now. About to play until the boys are about to get on.
Nice.
So I'm just talking to you till that happens.
Nice.
I gotta fucking do chores. Fucking cook dinner and shit. It's fucking terrible.
Luckily, I got all my chores done yesterday. And it's a long weekend for me, which is dope.
Yeah, nice. Glad you have off. I got off too. Well, I'm talking to Steven again.
Oh yeah. How's he been?
It's been good. I mean, it's not like we're talking every fucking day or anything.
Right.
Every time I talk to him, he's good. Probably plan on him coming over to the house with Gabe.
Nice. Better have a basketball hoop ready.
Yeah.
Or someplace to hoop somewhere.
Dude, I couldn't even tell you what this place to fucking hoop at around here. I'll tell you that. I don't go to work today.
Which is understandable.
Sure. Yeah, so I'm assuming I'm sure there's a park here. Fuck basketball somewhere. But I can tell where the fuck it would be. That's for sure. Yeah. But yeah, so they'll probably come one weekend. I'm assuming sometime soon. But,
Good.
Justin was staying at my house for like the summer.
Oh yeah.
I got him in a coffee, I think.
Nice.
Yeah, he was cool. Kind of try like he wasn't versed to it at all, so just took him a while to understand the
There's
difference of coffee for one, and like being able to taste the notes. It's kind of like wine, you know what I'm saying there.
Right.
You tasted wine and you don't taste wine, or you don't drink wine a lot, or if you're not into it,
You're just not gonna appreciate it.
Yeah, you're not gonna appreciate it. Be like, if somebody gave you a fucking $1,000 bottle worth of wine, you probably would be like, this tastes like fucking shit. Same thing with coffee.
Yeah. Well, I will say, I'm not a drinker. I am not a wine drinker. I just don't really care to drink much. Um, and a friend of ours brought a $500 bottle of wine
Did you
to.
taste it different?
It tasted so fucking good. I was like,
Really?
holy
I've never
shit.
had a good bottle of wine, so I wouldn't be able to actually really know. I was just kind of using that as a reference because I know it's kind of similar.
Well, it's one of those things where it's like sometimes that's probably true, especially if it's some like super niche note bullshit. Like you can really taste the Himalayans in this one. Um,
Yeah.
but it was like just sweet enough. Like it didn't have that weird bite that red wines can have because I don't even like red wine. Like I don't
Yeah, they're
really, I
like
don't.
bitter.
And
Yeah.
I'm like, but if it's a $500 bottle, like I'm not gonna not try it. Like fuck, definitely gonna try it. And it was actually extremely good.
I'll have to fucking remember that next time.
Yeah, next time you get offered a $500 bottle.
Yeah. But so coffee's kind of like that too. So you could make coffee. Like a lot of people, they think that coffee is kind of like what most people are used to. So like you go to like a fucking breakfast place and you're like, oh, do you want coffee? Oh yeah, sure. And
Of
it's
course.
black, and it tastes like shit.
Yes.
Watered
Yes.
down shit.
Yeah.
That's what most people
It's
like.
earth.
It's like that
Tastes like earth.
yes, that diner coffee is fucking gross.
Mhm.
But you could literally like today's coffee, like if you get it from a specialty roaster, and like you were saying, like these roasters, it's where like they take a bean that I'm sure was fucking grown great and all that, but the way they roast it changes the flavor depending on
Yeah,
how
it makes a
you
huge
roast it.
difference how you roast it.
Yeah, so dude, they have coffee now. Like I have a coffee that I just got finished today, where it tastes like blackberry, watermelon, and like Earl Grey, which is like a tea flavor.
That's wild.
And dude, it's absolutely wild. When I went to Oregon, because I just got into pour over, not like super recently, but it used to. How I started my coffee journey was probably fast afterwards. So I got into espresso first. So you can make
Oops.
espresso. Like a lot of people don't like espresso because it's very intense. It's very
Yeah,
strong. So it takes a while to kind of
build into it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but pour over, like it's like drinking tea or something. Like you can get it to where it's like very like light bodied and
Mm.
tastes very fruity and all that kind of stuff. So I went to Oregon. Wasn't sure how good my coffee was, so I was like any good shop that I could like find, like I would taste coffee there to kind of get an idea of like how good I made.
Where are you at?
Yeah, because like the coffee shops by me, I don't have too many of them, and
Mhm.
the ones near me just serve like really shitty coffee because a lot of people like go into a coffee shop and they're like they put a lot of sugars, like syrups. And shit
Yeah,
in
yeah,
their
yeah,
coffee.
yeah. To
So
make the
you
coffee
can't.
taste not like mold.
Yeah, exactly. So you can't tell if a coffee like usually coffee shops that do that aren't good coffee shops. So in the world of coffee, not saying that they
Right.
drink, they obviously taste good with all that syrup and shit. But anyways, I went to this coffee shop in Oregon. I tried to pour over because they had coffee. Their pour over they bought from the same roaster I do in my house. I was like, oh dude, this is my fucking time. Be able
You're
to
like,
really
nice.
tell. And the roaster that I was going to at the time is called Black and White, and they do a lot of experimental stuff. So like I don't know if you're familiar with like kind of how whiskey's brewed,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
like
In a barrel
in a
and shit.
barrel and shit. Yeah, so they actually do that with coffee beans too.
No shit.
It's a different. So they have a bunch of different like processing of how they process coffee. So it's called like anaerobic, I think it's called.
Hmm.
And it's pretty much where they put all these coffee beans, or like straight from the plant. They take out all the oxygen in this barrel, and then they'll throw like let's just say cherries and other kind of fruit in it, and they'll like put it in this barrel for like 72 hours, and it like ferments it.
Infuses and shit.
Yeah. So I've had a coffee from so this roaster does a lot of like uh different kind of processing of coffees. It's what they call like third wave coffee.
Hmm.
So it's like like 8 years ago, like that people weren't doing that with coffee. So it's kind of like a more new kind of style of processing of coffee. But anyways,
Hmm.
so I went to Oregon and they had one of these like new ones, and this coffee roaster does like every month or a couple months they do the future, which that's what they call like this series of like coffee. And they're trying new things with it.
Okay, gotcha.
So it's called the Future Blend, and then this Future Blend was called Grape Soda. So
Oh shit.
it tastes like it's a supposed to taste like a grape soda, but this shit's fucking coffee, bro. So I was like, I never buy the future blends because they're not expensive, but they're like $30 for like
Right.
12 ounces,
Yeah.
and I'm just like more so value for money kind of thing. So I'll try
Hmm.
to buy like cheaper coffee than that. But I was like, okay, I'll spend the $8 to try like a cup. So spent $8 on this pour over, dude, and I kid you not, this motherfucker tasted just like a grape soda. It was fucking absolutely. It blew my fucking mind that this shit was coffee. It was so fucking unreal, and I was like,
I'm hooked.
wow.
I'm more hooked than I was 10 seconds ago.
Yeah. So, but my whole like, I pretty much did a coffee tour as well when I was in Oregon. Yeah, I make pretty on point coffees like, to these shops. So that was, but yeah, coffee's fucking crazy. I got Justin into it a little bit. He's still, in the beginning stages of it, but he's definitely starting to taste notes now. He bought like a little starter espresso, like manual espresso machine, where he's like the machine pretty much,
Hmm.
and like putting
Here.
bars of pressure over the coffee and stuff like
Give me,
that.
give
So
me,
he's into it.
give me 1 second because I actually just recently upgraded my we got a grinder and I got a little pour over machine and
Oh, you
like
got a bar?
yeah.
Ah.
Because we were doing espresso and that's just so expensive. It's
It's
convenient.
expensive and it's shit,
Yes,
dude.
but
Trust me. If you're making some good espresso on a machine, you can make some crazy stuff. Dude.
but I have to dot these I's really quick, and that takes a lot of focus. And my cat is rubbing on me, and I'm about to throw him. So give me 1 second.
Then after that, I'm gonna get on the ring, brother.
Stop.
So pour over. Oh,
Mhm.
so and I'm just you don't have to reply if you're busy, but so pour over is probably like the reason why people usually go to pour over first is because you don't need coffee. It's not necessarily the machine that makes your coffee really good. It's really the grinder. The
Right.
way you grind the beans is really like night and day of like what your coffee could be. And so pour over is like really easy to buy a really good quality grinder because it's not super expensive. So
Mhm.
like for pour over, you can spend maybe, and again,
I think we
it's
spent
just
like
fucking expensive.
130 on ours.
Yeah, so you can get a hand grinder for like $80, $100, and if you don't mind hand grinding, because it takes like 20 seconds to hand grind pour over coffee.
Hmm.
If you don't mind hand grinding, you can get a really good grinder for like $100 and make crazy good pour over. Obviously once you like.
Oh, sorry. We have a drip coffee machine. I have a pour over little rig thing that I could use, but currently our main setup is just drip coffee.
Yeah, and I will say, like, if you're not gonna buy like pencil on the beans, you're gonna buy. So like, if you're buying it from the supermarket, depending
Yeah.
on the brand,
It's not worth it.
it wouldn't make sense because you really want fresh coffee,
Mm.
freshly roasted coffee, I should say.
Mm.
So, but yeah, you should. If you ever need a new hobby, man, it's like a science experiment every day.
You'll take me down the rabbit hole.
I'll take you down. I mean, the main thing, all you need is a scale, man. Scale,
Yep.
decent grinder, you're good to go.
I got those two things.
That's all you need.
So the grinder we have is a Breviera or something like that.
Oh, so you might actually have a decent grinder.
That's what I'm saying.
I think I know what you're talking about.
I did some research. Grinders.
Yeah. Is it like a BREZCO?
It's one you can buy on Amazon.
You can buy a lot of shit on it.
Hey, that's what I'm saying. Like, let me just put in coffee grinder. It's one.
Grinder.
Yeah, it's an electric grinder. Of course, it's none of these. Oh, here it is. It's always in like the top 13 best. Um, it's the Baratza.
Yes,
Yes, that one.
yeah, it's coffee. Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. It's electrical. Is it the Encore
Yes,
or is it the ESP?
Encore.
Encore. Yes, so you can make really good pour over with the Encore, but that wouldn't be able to do a good espresso, which is fine
Yes, yeah,
because
yeah.
it's got a drip machine, so that makes sense. Um, but yeah, you should be able to, if you get some good coffee, dude, you should be able to dial in a nice drip coffee for sure. But dude, it's crazy. If you ever do come and visit, or actually, I sold them. I gave Justin my. I had a really good hand grinder, like for espresso. That was like $200 for just a hand grinder.
Mm-hmm.
That I gave to Justin. Or
You're like, here, give it a shot, man.
Yeah, I sold it. I was gonna use it to offset my electric grinder that was like 600, but I ended up not selling it. And then Justin came over and I tried to get him into it, and I was like, yo, if I sell this, because that coffee grinder is like mainly for espresso. It could do pour over, but its profile was for espresso. So I was like, if I sell this and we can get you one that can do good at both, would you try getting onto it? And he's like, yeah. And then so I sold that, bought another hand grinder that he could use espresso and pour over for. And he like loves it now, dude. He's
nice.
Like, he loves coffee now, so he's like always making Americanos and espressos and pour overs, and he's always texting me. He's like, bro, finally I got the notes out that I was going for and all this shit.
That's rad.
Buying, like single origin coffee. Yeah, so he's actually gotten into it. He's like, bro, I wish you could taste this one. This one's good, So pretty cool. I didn't think he was gonna get into it at all because, dude, I would make coffee that like literally tasted like blueberry, like a blueberry muffin. So depending on the origin of where the coffee is from, like Ethiopian coffee, very fruity, very blueberry note forward usually.
Yeah.
And I like fruity coffee, so he's like, dude, this one. I can't even, like, this is when we first started getting into it. He's like, I can't taste anything. It just tastes like coffee. I was like, dude, there's no way you can't taste the fucking blueberry in this. And Megan doesn't drink coffee.
Right.
So I go to Megan. I was like, babe, what does this taste like? And she takes a sip. She goes, tastes like blueberries.
You're
I was
like,
like,
good.
thank you. I'm not going
You're like,
fucking
very
crazy.
Good.
He goes, this one's actually really not bad. And I was like, yeah, it's fucking good. And then eventually Justin like started getting the palate for it, but yeah, it took like 3 months.
Yeah, I feel like with all things, especially when it comes to like appreciating flavors, it always takes a little while, especially if you're not like naturally keen to it.
Yeah, so
you really should talk to Chris.
I didn't, dude. That never even got brought up at your fucking wedding.
Yeah, if it had, you guys.
I talk to people for fucking coffee for hours, dude. Trust me. I'm on Reddit talking to people about coffee forever.
Nice. If it had come up, you would have been like, oh my god, I have a friend in coffee.
Yeah, I met a couple people that are into coffee, so it's pretty cool. I got a couple friends down here that we like, dude. He'll like go to like where'd he go? Where the fuck did this guy go? I don't know. He may have went to Colombia, some South American country. Went to Colombia maybe. Went to a couple like coffee tours and got a bunch of coffee. And like, dude, we just come back. Like I have like probably like 4 or 5 different coffees usually. So dude, we just like literally just come to my house
and just started sampling
coffee. Yeah, we just started sampling coffee, and we just fucking get like super caffeinated over fucking coffee. And we're just chilling, drinking coffee and shit. That's pretty cool.
Man, I'm starting to really taste the one this one smells, man. I'm loving this one.
Yeah. What the fuck? Oh, sorry.
You're good.
Oh, fucking Amazon. This guy's fucking crazy. You think somebody's gonna rob the house sometime?
Oh yeah. Everyone's a threat until they're not.
The thing is, like, he'll be like all scary through the windows. So if you walked in, he's not gonna do shit to you.
Yeah, he's like, oh hey, welcome to our home.
But yeah, man, it was good talking to you, bro.
Good talking to you too.
Yeah, it's been a while. We're gonna have to come visit one day.
Absolutely. You're gonna come. You're gonna switch over and start doing co-op Elden Ring now.
Yeah.
Nice.
Get on. Wait for me. But yeah, no, definitely. Do you like Texas, by the way?
I love
I forgot to
Texas.
ask.
It has its
Been
ups and
before?
downs. It's just the freedom is nice, but the politics are kind of dumb. Like local government, I don't mean like overall government.
I was
But
gonna say, I mean, it's the same as Florida then,
exactly, yeah.
like government-wise, or state government-wise.
I do like Texas.
Is the property taxes crazy? 'Cause
Uh,
I heard you get a lot of bang for your buck for like the
yeah, you
budget
get a
line.
tremendous amount of bang for your buck.
But I heard
Like,
the property taxes are really expensive.
I mean, yes and no. You can protest and say that your house is only worth a certain amount.
So just
There's,
off of the value, like it is anywhere else.
yeah. So there's no state income tax, which is just like Florida.
Yeah.
And I'm certain that the Florida house tax is probably the same.
That's what I was thinking.
But people are coming from Michigan, and like property tax is way lower because you have a state income tax. And so when you come to Texas, you're like, oh my God, how can you pay this much in taxes?
Do you know how much your taxes are? I'm just curious.
Not off the top of my head now.
I just got my letter. That's how I knew.
We just got ours too, and it doesn't matter what it is; it has to be
Yeah,
paid.
'cause you
So
gotta pay it. Yeah. No, I was just curious if it was like the same, different, or what it was. 'Cause mine's like 3360, so 3,360 for the year. Which I don't know if
gotcha.
it's high.
How much is your
Not high.
house worth?
Is it? That was my other question. Is it worth? Is it off of your purchase price
No,
or
it's
what
based
it's
off what
worth?
is market value. At least
So I
around here, that's how it's
so I
determined.
think, but that's always lower than the sell price that you would sell it for, because like it's off of the, it goes off of the county appraiser value, right? It's not like off
Yes,
of like
yes, there's
what
an
people are
appraiser that
selling.
goes around. And
Yeah, and I think they appraise the houses for like 365, 375, 2.
that sounds about
Around
right
there.
then. That's probably what I would pay.
Okay, so yeah, so okay. I didn't know if that was high or not. I guess that's high compared
It's,
to other
I
places.
mean, compared to the national average, yeah, but it's only one. It's only one slice of the pie that Uncle Sam's trying to steal from you.
Hell yeah, for sure, dude. Fucking, yeah. We could talk about that for another hour.
Yeah, but I love you, man.
But
Enjoy your
yeah,
games. It's good
for sure,
catching up
bro.
with
Good
you.
talking to you. Again, if we don't talk by the time the birth is, definitely prayers are with you guys for sure.
Absolutely.
All right, man. I love you. It's good
Love-
talking to you.
Love you
Hope
too,
you
man.
enjoy your painting.
I'll do my best. No guarantees.
And if you get into coffee,
Yeah.
got the grinder. You gotta,
Yeah.
if
Halfway
you
there.
want to get the pour over, like actually the contraption.
I have the
scale.
contraption. I have the scale.
Do you know what dripper you have? Is it
Um,
MX 260?
Drip.
Those-
Oh, so I have a pour over where I could just heat a tea kettle to whatever temperature, and then just pour over.
Yeah, but what are you pouring over into? Like, what is holding the coffee?
Uh,
Like at the kettle.
just a regular coffee mug, or like a glass. Are you talking about like the thing that holds the paper and the grinds?
Yes.
It's glass.
Do you know what it is?
No,
It's
it's something I got from like a random Secret Santa, so it's probably not something terribly expensive. It's literally
Well,
just probably an
no,
apparatus
they,
that holds.
They're really cheap. Drippers are cheap. Like
Okay.
$20.
Yes,
They're not
I don't know which one I have, but I can send you a picture.
Yeah, send me a picture. I'm just curious. Because, yeah, I'll have to, yeah.
Will do.
All right, man.
All right, love you, bro.
Love you too. I'll talk to you later, dude.
Peace.
Have a good rest of your day.
I'll do my best.
See ya.
See ya. Oh yeah, I need to take the dogs out. Alright, I'm gonna take a break. Good amount of progress, though. Hard for me to tell from a distance which one I'm working on and which one's done, so that's a good sign. Yeah. Call it quits here. God, love the way these are coming out.